Those of you who got an invite, welcome to Nerd Prom.
No matter where in the world you are, we're all Nerds International. With the hyphen.
Guess who's back? Back again.
So this music that you can hear now is because we've got him. He's back once again. He's a legend. He's wearing a tie. Everyone knows him. That's right, it's me. Yes. I'm back, everyone. Oh, you didn't think I was going to be here after the last episode, but you know, it's good to be here.
You're always here.
Yeah, I know, but I'm back.
Okay, cool. And you've got a front.
So, exactly. So, welcome back, me.
Thanks. Me.
No, thanks. Well, thanks for you as well, but thanks for me as well.
Absolutely, thanks for you.
Thanks for me. Thanks for you. Thanks for everybody.
Oh, that's a nice positive start.
Piss off.
Now, yes, I have been back after an absence. I've been doing job shit. But check this out.
Yes, good. So Nick's got a
wearing
giraffe.
tie on my tie.
That's really good. That's the sort of shit that I bet that was a riot in the office.
mate.
You showed that to people.
Whacking.
People were having a meltdown.
I haven't unleashed it yet. I might save it for the Christmas party.
I bet Sandra on reception. She's like, "Here, come here. Look at it. Look at Nick's tie.
It's got a giraffe on it, but it gets better. It's got a tie.
Oh my god, that is a riot. Tony, come here. You'll never guess what Nick's got in his tie. He's only got a bloody giraffe wearing a tie on his tie.
Absolute dynamite at the office party. No. God.
Right, so with that, let's do an RPG show.
Coming at you live from the jam of a jam jar, it's me, Nick Lamley Lamslice.
And me, Harrison Hunt, aka Cilia Stingray. And we are...
Oh, yeah, the Tabletop Twats.
And this is an RPG show all about RPGs, tabletop RPGs. And we've got a bloody show for you today, ladies and gentlemen, because we have got what you've been saying, where we talk about what we've been playing. We've got a main subject, which is going to be the Jam Pack Party Pack Jamboree, motherfuckers.
Nice.
Yeah, then we got... What have we got? Fucking hell, this document's
Then we
too
got
big.
we got a new segment called the Game Design Guys.
Yeah, we're going to be bringing those guys on. They look very similar to us. And then we got the final song fight ever, followed by Inside the Mind of Masters. And then we've got your Electro Letters, where we ask you to send in your funny RPG stories. So,
And don't forget the award-winning, groundbreaking, cutting-edge outro.
Are you shitting me? That's back.
Yeah, the outro's
Brought that back. Good. Right. So, let's get on with it, ladies and gentlemen.
Without any more fuckery-roo, let's go.
Let's go.
Oi! Yeah? What you slaying?
Yeah, where are we going?
Well, we're staying right here, but to the listeners, it will seem as if we've entered another realm entirely, because here we are in what you've been slaying land. God, this is awful. So this is the what you've been slaying section. First of all, let's talk about bloody Bubblegum Crisis, mate.
Oh yes.
So
I've been excited about this for a long time. It's finally kicked off. Bubblegum Crisis. We've hit session 1.
it's kicked right.
It was
fuck
a
off.
right
So
hoot, mate. Yeah.
yeah. So basically, for those people that don't know, Bubblegum Crisis is a its subtitle is Mega Tokyo 2033, and this is a futuristic Blade Runner-esque cyberpunk
retro futuristic.
It's a future-retroistic game
That's the one.
set in the future, and it was really really fucking good.
Yep.
Having played it now, I really really enjoy the system and things like this.
The old
Basically,
fusion system. Yep.
yeah, like it was really really awesome, and the story that we had revolved around this new vigilante team that started up called the Night Sabers, which is like the team from the anime. Basically, in the future, in this world, a company called Genom have made these helper robots called Boomers, and they basically have gone rogue in certain instances and started attacking people. Now, this vigilante team, the Night Sabers, want to take Genom down, or at least stop these Boomer attacks, and they currently consist of 2 people. Now, those 2 people were attacked in a pub. This pub happened to contain all of the player characters, and then they got caught up in a big load of shit.
Yeah,
And-
you threw us in the deep end, didn't you, mate?
Sorry.
To be fair, game started, map gets put out, a nice drawn map, loads of little cars and stuff. Well, cars that are acting as bikes because we don't currently have any bike models, so we're using cars, which is
those
fine.
are hard to find.
And we're pretty much just surrounded by an assault team.
Yeah, because they thought that you were in cahoots with the two guys.
Yes.
So literally, it was a big fight in a town, followed by you guys getting captured, and then you
imprisoned.
Then a big highway chase where you were getting attacked by a boomer.
Oh my God, yeah.
Basically like a giant flying Terminator with a laser mouth.
Yep.
So it was fucking awesome.
Put it lightly, yeah.
The chase scene was one of the best, the highlights, because like one thing I really, really like about good action films is when like an action director will let characters' personalities shine through the way that they fight, and I found that really, really came out through the characters in this. When the action scenes were happening, all of the characters really came alive during the action in this. And on that highway chase scene, we had Riz, who was a phone dealer, and he's got this modded truck. He's a phone repairman, isn't he?
Yeah, that's it. And his shop is his truck.
Yeah.
Also his house.
Exactly. So it's a massive truck that he works out of, and you were in the passenger seat, but he's got this machine gun that pops out the front of it, and he was using it, but he's sort of he's not bumbling, but he's kind of like. He's a genius, but he's an idiot in certain aspects because he's
like an eccentric, isn't he?
Yeah, because his genius is so focused on building of machinery
he's
that
useless at everything.
Exactly. So you were driving down the highway and you were like swapping seats, taking control of the gun.
And he had no drive, even though he's got a huge truck.
So that would be why he just took his mind off the controls and was just like, okay, now it's your turn, you get on the controls. And then you were just like, okay then, and you were sort of like. You were this guy that just like, I don't know, you didn't give a fuck, like you hate Genoms, so you were just like, I'll do anything it takes. So you're like, of course I'll swap over the controls and get onto the driving seat midway through a highway chase at fucking 100 miles an hour.
But just do me one thing, keep my pink scooter safe.
Yeah, you had your scooter in the back of the back of the truck.
Yeah.
And then we had another character. What was Sean's character's name?
Oh man, Sean. So he's Golden, Harvey Golden.
Harvey Golden, yeah.
I love that he was like, Sean, you got any armour? And he's like, no, but I've got this incredibly pressed denim.
Yeah, he wears a full denim suit.
No need for armour.
He's a policeman, but he's a policeman in the advanced police. So they're basically, they deal specifically with rogue boomers. And he is in it for the glory. He's that type of policeman.
Yeah.
He's the kind of guy that will take on the case to save the little girl, but only because he wants his face in the papers.
Exactly.
He doesn't give a shit about the little girl. like he's that kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he has this bike called the Highway Star that has afterburners on it, like a jet.
Oh man!
And he was literally there was a bit where the boomer blew a fucking hole in the highway and. He activated the afterburners, did a sick jump over it, and then just like blew through the motorway. Was fucking shooting at the same time he was blowing through the air. With
bike
like, no regard for his safety.
Else. Yeah,
it was amazing. And then he used the bike to then leap onto the boomer, smashing it onto the front of the truck. But the chassis of the bike was actually really. Well armoured.
Yeah.
So he didn't do any damage to his bike, but he crushed it, sandwiching the boomer between the bike and the truck.
Oh
so
god, yeah.
He nearly damaged the...
No, he did damage it before because do you remember he tried to take a corner right at the beginning, stacked it, and it all skidded along the side.
So the bike did take some damage initially, but when he did the final manoeuvre, crushing the boomer between the truck
crazy.
and his bike.
Yep.
He was like, he had no regard for his own safety. He just wanted to do a glorious move, so he sort of managed to kill the boomer, but managed to damage Riz's truck massively.
Yeah, and then, on top of the fact that he'd already blown a hole in the trailer, I think the boomer had. So.
Yeah, the boomer blew a hole in the trailer with his laser.
Yeah.
75 points of structural damage or something like that, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
And considering the trailer only had 100 to begin with, it was ridiculous.
It's pretty bad.
This was an amazing fight. And then we had James Tomassen's character, Gerard, who was another motorbike user, but he has a little compartment in the side of his motorbike where he stores a shotgun.
Oh, yeah.
And he also carries his sword. So he's like very, very anime. And earlier on in the game, he was driving along, slicing a guy's head off on his motorbike.
Yeah. Drive-by decapitation.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then we had James's character, who was just a regular policeman. And so, like, you know, he was like a little bit outclassed by everyone, but he saved a girl from the compound that you guys were captured in and had her on the back of the motorbike and was trying to calm her the fuck down. And she was so like in like like Stockholm syndrome.
Oh, totally. Yeah, yeah.
Every time he was like, "I'm going to get you to safety," she was going, "Oh right, you're going to take me back to the prison," and he was like, "No, don't be an idiot."
That made me laugh when she was like, "I'm not going out there. There's lasers out there." And everyone was like, "What are you talking about? It's no lasers." And then we get out there, and the first thing that happens is a fucking boomer turns up and shoots his laser. She was like, "Told you."
Literally the first attack in the battle.
It was a big laser.
Yeah, it was amazing.
She's like, "Told you so." But yeah, no, it's wicked. My character's Clay McCormack. He's an ex-AD policeman who's like been basically, he was run out of the police force and
for trying to investigate Genom.
Into Genom, yeah, exactly. And they covered it all up. And actually, he had a rogue boomer attack, blew up his house and destroyed his house and his only companion, his dog. And he's a man on the edge now.
I have to say, like, what I wanted to do for the first game was I wanted to kind of like give this introduction where I wanted to have a section where we had role playing, which is why we had the sort of imprisonment. I wanted people to be forced to talk. I know that's bad because usually they just would anyway.
Yeah.
But I wanted people to also have an opportunity to use all the cool shit they bought in character creation, because that's so often the case where people buy stuff and then it just doesn't come up.
Yeah, it doesn't get used.
I really wanted to have this cool introduction as well, where you also saw some of the stuff that you were going to expect to see later on.
Yeah.
So basically now you know how powerful boomers are. You know the sort of tech you're going to see in this game, and you know how evil Genom are, all in one session. And like, I quite liked how we got to see all this in one session, and how efficiently you guys got through it all. It was so much fun. Yeah,
the whole escaping from prison thing actually went pretty damn well, considering. I mean, we opened the wrong cell, and there was a load of mutated children coming after us. We managed to not get hurt by any of them. None of our vehicles got damaged, and we actually didn't have to have a fight with the guards. We did a really cool trick where we were like, "Oh, what was it?" When someone was like, "Ah!" And then he's like, "That sounds serious."
You basically tricked them into going into your cell after you opened the door, because one of you screamed or something like this.
And he was like, "Something serious is going on." I was like, "That does sound serious." And then they ran off. They all ran into the cell, and then bang,
and then quickly closed the door. It was Riz, the Indian guy. Yeah, he just went, "Ah!" Yeah, that was good.
But yeah, so first impression of Bubblegum Crisis was, well, it lived up to exactly how I was hoping.
It's a cracking game.
Brilliant.
The system is very, very decent, very functional. I would say that it works absolutely fine. It's no massive bells or whistles thus far. I would say the biggest thing that makes it for me is the items, the equipment, and how well and cohesive the world is.
Yeah.
The actual game just works solidly.
Yeah.
And that's the best I can say about it. It's not like outstanding. It doesn't do anything out there and amazing, but it does what it does perfectly well and decent. And that is a ringing endorsement, I think.
Absolutely.
It doesn't try anything spectacular.
And if you want to know more about Bubblegum, I suggest you go back to our Bubblegum episode.
Yeah, because we did do a sort of full review of the book.
Yeah.
So that's why I just wanted to tell the listeners about the story. But then we also played a duo of Saga of the Goblin Horde, didn't we?
Oh man, yeah, that was fun.
That was brilliant, and we had 5 players.
Yeah.
And I ran two adventures. I did the first one was this one where you had to go and find a wishing well.
That was it, yeah. And bring it back to the chieftain.
Yeah, so Saga of the Goblin Horde, for those of you that don't know, that are listening, I mean, we've bloody well gone on about it enough.
If you don't know, you better get to know.
Get to know, motherfuckers. This is a very fun setting where you play as goblin bosses, and you have minions that you can command, and you can use them to do things. For instance, if you take damage, you can chuck one in the way to take damage, or you can
get them to do shit. You can get them to go find you stuff. Yeah, you know, anything.
Get them to scout out an area or something like this, if it's dangerous or whatever.
Or just sacrifice them to the greater good.
If you want to cross a river, or
use one as a boat.
Yeah, exactly. So things like this, and yeah, it was really funny. So the wishing well, there's like basically I'll try and summarise this quickly, but the wishing well, there's these rumours that have been going around. Some humans have been in like a neighbouring village and been spouting off their mouth because there's this wishing well that's been giving out wishes, right? And the word of it gets to the goblin village, and Chief Big Nose, who's like your boss,
he's all over it.
Yeah, he's all over it. He tells you, get the fuck out of there, go and get me, get the well.
Yeah,
like, bring the well.
Yeah,
back
not even
to
make
me.
a wish, bring that shit back to me.
I want our wishing well. that would be handy.
Yeah.
Because, his cup's not big enough.
Didn't really go into how we were going to get it back. He was just like, bring it back.
You set off there. On the way, you fight some humans that are also on the way. You also get there and
We met a guy.
there's that guy fucking says, he wishes to be the smartest goblin in the world. And when he does, he actually went in there and wishes. And he says he doesn't feel any different. And it's like, I don't know if anyone got this at the table, but the point is, I think the wish worked. But because goblins are so dumb, that's why he doesn't feel any
Wouldn't
different.
even comprehend it.
Yeah, exactly.
The other guy really made me laugh as well. What did he have? He just wanted a rubber cape.
Oh, that I put in there because basically, no, I don't know if I did put that in there or if that was Richard's invention.
I don't know.
I can't fucking remember.
The dude said he was like, "This
Yeah,
is
that
all
was
I want. It's
pretty
all I've ever wanted."
Because basically,
We stole it off him.
yeah, because basically all that happens is at the end, it's like a little Ifrit guy basically. After all the wishes are used up,
After all the hot dogs.
Yeah, basically, it's really funny. But after all the wishes are used up, this little guy comes out, and he's really upset that all the wishes are used up. So he basically explodes the cave.
That's right. Yep.
And I was trying to hint at the fact that they would need some sort of fire resistance. So I had a human in there. I can't remember if this is Rich's idea or if it was mine. So I'm sorry if I'm like incorrectly attributing this to me. But I had a guy in there that had a rubber cape.
Yep.
And he was just like, I've just always wanted this rubber cape, man. This is my favourite thing. And
I'll
then
just be on my way.
you guys just fucking bullied him into giving him the rubber
It
cape.
was like, give us the cape. And then one of the characters, oh my god, do you remember? He was like, I want to be the top boss of all the goblins. And then he transported, do you remember? He transported out of there.
Oh yeah.
And then Big Nose was like packing up.
Yeah, so one of the guys wished to be the best, the boss of your tribe.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and then it was James. He wished to be the boss of your tribe, and then when he just instantly just bloop, teleported back to the village, and then Chief Big Nose, like all these like goblin removal men were packing all this stuff up, and he's like, I tell you what, guys, I don't like this.
There's been some changes around here.
I don't like this one bit. But best of luck with the job. And, this is awful. And then James is like, he's like, get me some wine.
And he's getting on the throne, getting all comfy and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then of course when all the wishes get used up, everything gets reverted back to normal. But somebody wished for infinite hot dogs, and then everyone sort of was like getting armpit deep in fucking hot dogs. They were just pouring out the well. Somebody wished that the hot dogs would stop, and then somebody, I can't remember. Sean was like, "I wish you would go away." And that was when James. Yeah, that's when he went back to the village, and it was really funny. It was so stupid. Yeah, that was really good.
It was great.
But the second one was where it really got fucking awesome. Was when you guys basically have to test out these new hang glider inventions to go and steal some dragon eggs. And basically what happened was a bit of in-party fighting between two goblins. It got really petty, didn't it?
Yeah.
What happened again? So how did the farting? How did the
farting commence?
How did the fighting start?
So we were going.
You were travelling somewhere. No, yeah, you were travelling, and then you started making camp, and then Peter, one of the guys, built a camp.
Oh my
didn't
god!
he?
Yeah, that's right. So he was like, "I'm going to build a house." So he was like, "Well, when you said house, it's more of a shed that can fit one person."
He got all his minions because everyone was making like makeshift shitty tents.
Some people were digging under the ground and just finding a bush or making a little hammock or whatever. And Peter's character wanted to get all these minions to work really hard and actually erect a little kind of wooden shack. And I think actually one died from exhaustion just by the sheer effort that got put into it. But anyway, so the minions got to work, and after that they had literally it looked like an outhouse. But that was it. We wanted to get in, didn't we?
Everyone got really jealous and started being like, "Hey,
we just walked in. He's like, get out!
I'm coming in there tonight." And then everyone got really angry. So then the spellcaster. Oh yeah, it was Sean who was playing. Who's the flame guy? I forget his name. Mason
Crispy Face. Yep.
Yeah, he's like a flamomancer, pyromancer.
Yeah.
And he got really jealous, and he just wanted to sort of like char Pete's bed a little bit to annoy him. So he cast bolt on it, and then he got like 2 razors. So he just basically ignited the fucking shack, and then Pete was utterly furious.
He was real
So they just started fucking killing each other.
They wiped all their minions out.
But it wasn't even like when they started punching each other, no, they were kicking each other, weren't they? When they started kicking each other and throwing bolts at each other, it wasn't your average kicks and bolts. They were getting raises every single time.
God, yeah, it was like
And
26 damage.
Yeah, they were
stupid stuff.
For those that don't know what Savage Worlds, like how it works, they were rolling. This is basically the equivalent of rolling like not just a crit, but like a mega crit every single time.
Aces for days.
And so literally these guys were like, well, if I take that hit, I'm going to die. So they just put a minion in front of it every time.
Yeah, worked through their whole set of minions. They had none left by the end of it, and we hadn't even started the adventure. It was the first night before we get to where we was trying to get to, and they'd wiped out all their minions.
So when it came to the bit where they had to basically fly their hang gliders across this valley for 12 hours, right, to fly into this mountain to get the dragon eggs to bring back to the boss. They were flying for 12 hours. Everyone else, right, when they needed to regain control, they would just say to me, right, I'm dropping a minion. Right? They would kill a minion so that they could sort of get a bit more balance on their hang glider, right? But they didn't have any left, so they were fucking. Some of them were flying so low that they were fucking getting hit by trees.
Yeah.
They were even like they were so low at some points that humans were just like punching them.
What the fuck's that?
yeah,
It was abysmal.
people died left, right, and centre. I mean, someone died and then had to be given a minion character. I was a rat guy, so I had a load of rat characters, but then I ended up dying, so I played one of my own rat minions just to keep going.
Yeah, then somebody else played somebody's minion. They died. I think Sean did. It was amazing. It was one of the best sessions of Saga of the Goblin Horde I played.
Oh,
No, it was probably the best.
It was a double header and it was cracking, wasn't it?
Yep, it was amazing. It was unbelievable. And just that infighting was some of the best, and the fact that they completely fucked themselves for the rest of the game.
Brutal in-party fight I've ever witnessed. It was, everyone was just silent. They were like, they ain't joking. And then the dice would roll and you'd hear click, 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 where it keeps acing. You're like, oh,
it was awful.
But anyway, cracking. Yeah, best damn Goblin game going. Everybody get out there and play it because it's fantastic.
So the next two things I just wanted to talk about really quickly are Aliens versus Rednecks and Punted in the Bunts.
Oh,
so
what they then?
So yeah, I know. The thing is, though, it's really wanky to talk about two products which I wrote, and Aliens vs Rednecks is now on sale, but we played a session of it and it was good fun. I'm not going to go on about it too much because otherwise it sounds like it's like a one-man circle jerk, if that's even possible.
That's just a wank, isn't it?
Yeah, so it is literally a wank. It's the old one-man wank.
The old one-man wank, yeah. Oh, God.
So Aliens vs Rednecks is a game where you play as aliens, and it is a plug-and-play adventure for Savage Worlds, and you play as aliens capturing a beauty pageant winner in Texas, and each of the aliens has a bizarre power. For example, we had a guy that can shapeshift into mundane objects. So on the planet the aliens come from, called Clark, this planet, they basically are all assigned jobs based on the weird powers that they're born with. So this guy's a private eye, and his power is that he can shapeshift into mundane objects.
Like a coaster or something.
Yeah, so that means he's good at listening to stuff, right?
Yeah, cool.
So in this, like, when they were trying to capture this beauty pageant winner, they tracked her down to a bar, so he tried to turn into a box that they could put her in. like things like this.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was really, really good fun.
That's awesome.
And we had another guy that could walk up walls.
Because you have no weapons, do you, the aliens?
No, they're really crap at fighting.
Yeah.
And that's why these people are sent to try and capture this woman who is the cure for a disease back on their planet.
Yep.
And so you got a guy that can walk on walls. You got a person that's a salesman that can read minds. So
cool.
during a fight that happened later in the game, and honestly, like a pathetic fight between a bunch of wimps, he basically
Slapfest.
he was trying to read people's minds to see what they were going to do next.
Yeah.
And he was reading the opponent's mind, and he was like, he reads the mind, and the woman's like, I'm going to slap him next. And he's like, she's going to slap you. She's like, no, I'm not. And she's like, she is.
I heard it.
Yeah, it was really good fun. So
wicked.
I would recommend picking that up if you can. And the cool thing about that is pay what you want. So if you don't want to pay anything, you don't have to. So you can.
You can just steal it.
You can just. Well, it's not stealing because we're giving it away for free if you want it.
Wow.
But if you feel like it, give us some money for it if you like.
Yes, because a lot of hard work goes into all this stuff, and definitely go check it out. It's great.
Yeah, but if you ain't got the money,
but you still got a game, ain't you? Just owe Harrison one.
Yeah, just buy me a pint.
Yeah,
Send me a pint in the mail.
There you go. Send him a pint in the mail. Jobs are good.
Pour it into an envelope.
Pour it into an envelope and send it first class.
The other thing was we played Punted in the Bonds, which is an upcoming Savage Worlds adventure that I wrote.
All of them also available as an actual play.
Yeah, it is, and that's available as an actual play on the Wild Die, which is really funny because I played that with Sean, Peter, and James, who were awesome on that podcast.
It's hilarious. I mean, it is so funny. I haven't finished it yet, but what I've got up to is absolutely brilliant. You feel nostalgic if you're from London because it's basically like Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels meets Snatch meets a load of lads from Red Hill. Yeah. It's fucking brilliant. There's cream eggs in there. There's Peckham post offices in there. Bashed up Bentleys. I'm not going to go into much more detail than that, but go check the actual play out because it is genuinely hilarious.
It's really fun to play.
It's a very good listen.
But yeah, you in that basically, you play as a bunch of guys that have to rob a post office, and that is coming out soon. And so look out for Punted in the Bonds on Drive-Thru RPG. That was actually really, really good fun. So I would check both of those out. Aliens vs Rednecks I co-wrote with Eric, and Punted in the Bonds I wrote by myself, and that was really, really good fun. So I would check those two out.
One man wait.
So the next thing, Nick, is Cosa Nostra.
Yes.
I don't even know how to say this.
Costa Nostra.
Cosa Nostra.
Cosa Nostra.
It sounds like a fucking place in Spain, doesn't it?
I like Cosa Nostra.
Come to Cosa Nostra. Now, holiday resort.
Where all your dreams come true.
Now showing English football.
Every day of the week. So this was a fabulous birthday present that Harrison got me, and it's basically a.
Don't mention it. I just found it by a roadside.
Oh, did you really? You stole it from a gangster.
I did.
It's my favourite book. What
It's
are
my
you doing?
favourite RPG.
It's about me.
My mama gave me that RPG.
Hey!
Forget about
Get
it.
out of here!
Pay the bing, pay the boom.
So, it's fantastic. It's it actually comes in two parts. There's the crime one, and if you like the world, you can actually get the second book, which is basically playing the special forces that fight the crime. So you can be the good guys or the bad guys.
Why would you want to be the good guy?
No, tell me about it. It's much better wearing suits and shooting people in the kneecaps.
Exactly.
I like that they've got like a really Dumbo-y Frank Sinatra on there. Because they said that Frank Sinatra had mob connections, didn't they? And also a huge penis, apparently. I don't know.
Well, we can confirm. We'll look that up and we'll confirm it by the end of the episode.
Absolutely,
ladies and gentlemen.
It's by Bedrock Games, and it's a crime game. You play crime bosses. It's its own little system. It's a well, bloody hell, how much? I mean, nearly over 100 pages. It's set in.
It's like a fictional version of Vegas, isn't it?
Exactly. It's like a fictional version of Vegas. You play mobsters.
But that was wicked. I bought that from my local game shop.
I'd like to do a review on it in the future, actually.
Yeah, they appear to have bought a bunch of indie RPGs, and which is pretty cool because they don't usually do that kind of stuff. They usually
old you know who?
Yeah, I know.
Wow, what
do you know
the hell?
The really funny thing is when
under new management or something.
No, I really didn't want to go in there because we've had some bad experiences with that local game store. They're just the worst.
Pushers.
The funny thing is that when I go in there, we always get the worst customer service.
Yeah.
When I bought this one, no words were exchanged to this time. So that was something.
Wow.
I literally went in there, right? I picked it up, I put it on the counter. He didn't say hello to me. I didn't say hello to him. He just put the card machine out. I put it in, tapped on my pin, and then I left. Nobody said anything. It was the weirdest thing.
He was trying so hard to be like, you ever played Magic the Gathering?
Oh, man. The worst one was when I went in there and I was fucking looking at the Magic the Gathering cards when I used to play it, right? And they asked me to join the club, and they went, oh, you should come and meet the club. And then they brought up 2 13-year-olds, and I'm like, I'm 27. No. What are you doing?
Do you remember when we went there and he was like, shall I give you the grand tour? And before you knew it, we was like down in the basement and stuff.
I'd have to admit that was quite nice of them, but they are just mad. The both of them.
They're geared up for great. Like it's brilliant what they've got,
but they're just so smug.
Yeah.
I remember when he showed us Mountains of Madness, Call of Cthulhu book, and he was like, I've got this, and we're like, oh cool, is that for sale? And he's like, no,
it's mine.
Why are you showing this to us then?
And then out of nowhere, the other one's like, I painted this. He's like, oh, it's nice. Is it for sale? No, just look how good the painting is.
Why are you showing me? Is this a shop or is this just
show off city?
Fuck's sake. So yeah, I actually braved that shop to get your gift.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate it because
that is literally
that's a big deal.
Exactly.
Getting in there and getting back out again. So yeah, thank you very much. And review of it. Costa Nostra Coming soon.
Costa Nostra Spain coming soon. I'm facing away from my mic. I apologise. So I bought the GURPS GM screen from the Facebook group. Gotta say, this is one of the suckiest GM screens I've ever bought in my life. I fucking hate it. Steve Jackson, man, what's wrong with you, man? You always let me down. You do some good shit sometimes, but
other times it's like,
look at this shit, man. I mean, the artwork sucks.
Screen.
The artwork's it's all right. I mean, if you
I'm not bowled over by the artwork.
No, I mean it's a bit soulless, isn't it? So you got an elf shooting a bow at some sort of bat-like creatures. Next to her is a woman, sort of. I mean, you can only describe that as sort of like a dildo cannon, right? And then there's a man who just looks like he's bored by all of this.
What's he wearing?
Civil War outfit.
Yeah.
And then he's got a lightsaber.
You've got a resplendent gentleman in a black suit holding a shotgun.
But his smile as well. He looks like he's stoned. The fact of the matter is that actually this sounds brilliant by the way I'm describing it. But when you look at it, it's really crap.
I don't know. Crap's a strong word. It's just
boring. It's nothingy.
Yeah.
And then the actual data on the back is fine, but it's one of those ones that's really thin and a bit crap. So
there's a lot in there.
Yeah,
you'd need to put some kind of like little sticky labels or something to find
What I hate about this is it's one where when it folds out, all the information is shown to your players. So you see that?
Oh yeah. So what the hell? Either that, or you've got to have the smallest screen in the world.
So it's only a two-sided screen.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no.
Get that out of here.
Steve Jackson, what are you up to?
Steve Jacko, and I got fucking. And the next thing that I bought was Golden Sky Stories.
That looks really cool.
So this is really good. This comes from Rio Kamiya, who people will know is the creator of Made. Don't switch off the podcast.
Made's great.
Yeah. So we love Made, right? But my point is that this is very, very, very different to Made. It is Japanese, but the Golden Sky Stories is, if you like Studio Ghibli movies, it's that, but RPG. So
brilliant.
It's not the tagline is heartwarming role playing. So in this, you sort of play as these sort of weird, sort of half animal hybrid people, right? So if you've ever seen the anime movie Wolf Children, or if you've read that manga, it's kind of like that. And you have sort of like animal powers and stuff, and you're supposed to play out these sort of like heartwarming stories that are known as episodes and things like this. Haven't read too much into it, but that is sort of it. It says on the back, there is a certain town. In this town we have seen them. It is a time when the mysterious is normal. It is a time when the animals can turn into people, and there are meetings which become stories, and there are treasures that you can find without fighting. So, I don't know, seems quite good, but
then to be fair, you can still put a dark edge on it if you wanted to.
Still have killing people in there.
Still have death in it if you want it.
Everything's got to have death. I don't get out of bed without death. No, but my point is that with this, I'm not sure about it, but my point is
I
that
love the cover art.
I wanted to buy it because I wanted to see what it was like, because I quite like the idea of having a game that's based around heartwarming stories, but the thing is, I didn't really want to pay that much for it.
And that's got a lot of room for comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of room for comedy.
And I've seen it most places for like 20 quid, 25 quid, and I just thought, for that, I don't know. So I got it for 7.
It's a gamble.
So I was like, all right,
very
fine.
good. Yeah, 7 quid. Well. Can't grumble with that.
Yeah, you might as well try it for that.
Fair play. And lastly, I'm just going to quickly touch on this because I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit more in depth. But look what finally came.
Hey,
it's massive. Here he is. It's the giant hardback 20th anniversary Deadlands Kickstarter.
He means Deadlands Classic 20th Anniversary Edition.
I finally got my hands on it. It's turned up. Well, it's actually brilliant because a lot of my Kickstarters that I backed like last year and the beginning of this year are actually starting to deliver now. Yeah.
So Pinnacle have done the impossible. They have actually, what they've done is they've bought someone else's property, pretended it's their own, and they've bought it out. They've done what they always do. Well done, Pinnacle. No, but I'm being very, very cynical about the Pinnacle because, to be fair, even though this isn't theirs and they are sort of pretending it's their own property and like it's their flagship product, this is an amazing book, isn't it?
It's lovely.
And it's just cool to have it back out in print again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And brand new.
Yeah, it's all
even if
colour
it isn't
now.
the original guys.
It's all colour. The book's huge. I mean, geez.
That is one of the nicest books I've ever seen in my life. I'm Turbo Jelly, Nick.
Turbo Jelly. Yeah, 400 pages, mate.
400 pages.
400 pages.
And how
of
much
goodness.
was that? It's only like 30 quid.
The Kickstarter in the end I actually ended up getting a bit punched in the gut because they hit you
postage.
with postage. Yes, and even though it was meant to be friendly, it still ended up. I think in the end, in total, I think it cost me about 70 quid to get it here. So
Easy,
thanks,
crazy.
Pinnacle. That's why I was a bit like.
Okay, yeah, so Nick was just making a face and holding his Kickstarter
Stretch goals.
Okay, so you've got 2 bookmarks there.
No, 4.
Oh, okay, 4 bookmarks, but that's really worth the 70 quid. Okay, you know what? That actually is a bit worse, but you know what? That is something you will treasure forever because that is a beautiful book.
The bookmark?
No, the book
yeah.
itself.
The book's
May I have a look at
amazing.
the bookmarks? These have got adverts on them.
What?
You fucking cunts.
Are you kidding me?
Continue the story with Deadlands Reloaded. Oh, they're advertising the Savage Worlds version.
So yeah, stretch goal my ass.
Oh, Nick. These are quite nice, but they've got adverts on the back.
70 quid bookmark.
Fucking no. That's Pinnacle all over, man. Fucking hell.
Cynical Pinnacle.
Hey, who's still playing the Goon? Oh, that's fucking hell. That's really... that really has... Sorry, man.
No, but
I do think in the end it is worth it, though. Because
the book's amazing.
It's beautiful.
It's it's a piece of history. It's been redone, full colour, hardback. So yeah, money well spent.
I think it was just when you were holding those bookmarks.
So angry.
Oh, that was funny.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's good.
But there you go.
I was on an elevated platform and plus I get a +1 on my javelin.
One last thing is that we played GenLab Alpha last night. Nick, give us a lowdown. What's
Give us
GenLab
right.
Alpha?
Okay, so GenLab Alpha. The easiest way I could put it is Prison Break meets the animals of Farthing Wood.
So it's like Michael Dogfield.
So basically, it's a post-apocalyptic setting where humans have gone and ucked off somewhere, long time ago, war, wipeout, everything like this. You live as an animal, a mutated animal / human. So basically, you stand upright. You can use your hands, as hands rather than paws, or paws as hands, should I say? You can use tools. You're capable of abstract thinking, and you can talk. So basically, you're a human-shaped animal, if you like. So and you are all live in this huge place that's called Paradise Valley, which is actually a prison. It's surrounded by electric fences. Each type of animal has their own habitat called their tribes, and they are basically ruled by these evil robots that do wicked experiments on you, abduct you, do morning raids, and they're basically your jailers, if you like. And you play animals fighting back against your evil robot captors.
But we are going to leave it there because we want to do a full episode on this because I absolutely loved it. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but this GenLab Alpha is fucking great. To anybody that is intrigued by that setting, go and check it out. It's a little bit on the expensive side because I was thinking it would be about 30 quid. It's like 35, and it's like, it's just over that point where you're like...
But it's a nice big book, it's hardback, and it's full colour, and the art is some of the best art I've ever seen.
Main subject. Main subject. Main subject. So this is the main subject, and this time we're doing a party pack jamboree. So basically, what this is we just we picked out some smaller products, some things that we wouldn't usually have dedicate an entire episode to, and we're going to talk about those.
Yeah.
So we got three random things for you today.
We scoured our houses, didn't we, to find some cool stuff?
Exactly, and we think you're going to like them. I don't think we're going to reveal them now. We'll reveal them as we go along.
Yeah,
we'd like it to be a surprise for you guys. It's like a big stocking. You put your big fist in there and you just grab and you see what you get.
You wriggle around a little bit, you pull out real quick and see what's in your hand.
So, the first one, let's pull it out. He triggered the rear guns once more. A direct hit. The blue car skidded as the driver lost control and then flipped and caught fire. That would teach him not to tailgate. Seems a bit extreme, doesn't it?
Oh my god.
So cheese.
I love it. That's brilliant.
So that is from the back of the box of Car Wars.
Yes.
So we are talking about Car Wars from Steve Jackson. So Nick, I've just handed in the box. So yeah, basically, I've just put on the show notes here, describe the story, and I've forgotten it a bit, so bear with me, listeners. Basically, as far as I'm aware, right, this is set in the future, right, and I've seemed to remember, right, something about grain.
Grain?
No, grain. So, like, grain production's gone really low, shit's gone really bad.
Oh, right, you got it.
And then, like, basically all the people start getting right into automotive dueling, and
As you do.
Exactly.
I'm hungry. Let's go have a car fight.
Exactly. So it gets so bad that the police can't deal with it anymore. So they just make it a national sport in America.
So, is this the prequel to what's that game you like playing?
Bad Max,
No, not Bad Max.
Sad Max.
No, what's the car? Rocket League.
Oh, Rocket League. Yeah, that's it.
That's the game.
So no, and basically, yeah. So they AADA is formed, which I think is the American Automotive Dueling Association.
Brilliant.
So that, yeah, basically that's formed, and then after that, like, it becomes this like sport that everyone does. You're allowed to do it. Everyone goes and watch it. It's like Death Race. It's take the whole family out. Go see people get
People
destroyed.
die. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the old lynchings of the old days. You know.
So like, I've just handed you the box, Nick.
Is this a reprint? 'Cause it's in incredible condition.
Might be. I don't know. It belongs to my brother.
Really good condition.
So you can buy the Car Wars box, right? And basically, it comes with what does it come with, Nick? A big map. So this is
huge double-sided map.
So that map that contains the main arena, which would be the
circuit one.
Yeah, the circuit is the American Automotive Dueling Arena.
And
right?
this one.
That'd be the other one.
That's the
another
other one.
arena.
Gotcha.
Right.
So it's a giant map.
So yeah, and basically you've got a giant map. You've got all the minis
Rule
in
book.
there.
Yeah.
The rule book. And you've got a turning key, which you can use to play without maps.
Oh, cool,
And then
yeah.
you've got car sheets and bike sheets.
Microscopic dice.
Microscopic dice.
Loads of tokens. And yes, I see. So your character sheet is your car.
Is your car.
Wicked.
Right.
Your cycle.
So yeah, that's basically what comes in the box.
Very nice. Yeah.
So yeah, like it's pretty awesome. And if you want additional ships, you can get additional arenas, like highway maps, things like this, and you can get all of this. Basically, there was a magazine that came out called Auto Duel Quarterly Magazine, and yeah, this was an in-universe magazine. It was written as if
it's from that world.
Yeah.
Wicked. That's
and
cool.
that
I like
came
that.
out for a long time, and loads of the back issues are available on carwars.sjgames.com.
Excellent.
So you can go and read those right now. Yeah, so it's really, really cool. And I know what you're thinking. Basically, most of the time you're going to use those two maps that are in the actual box.
Yep.
And basically, I know that sounds boring, but what it is it's supposed to be like a sport. So it's like
Yeah.
playing on the same pitch in football all the time.
Yeah. It's fine.
So it's kind of like that. But a lot of people think that this is basically a skirmish game, and it kind of is. It's not really an RPG. If you read the rules, it's not typically an RPG, but what a lot of people do is they'll add RPG elements to this to keep it fun. So what you do is you'll have different scenarios to skirmishes. So you'll be like, okay, this time the big bollock boys have come in from another town and they're threatening your title, mate. So what you're going to do?
You gonna have that?
Yeah, and a lot of people will have a GURPS character sheet for outside.
Outside of the arena.
Exactly.
Excellent.
And then they'll have dramas going on, and they'll have shit like this.
Awesome.
And things like this. So most people would do that and add these sort of like role-playing game elements.
So you could inject this into a huge GURPS campaign if you wanted to.
I would say that the campaign, because of how complicated the rules are and things like this, it would have to revolve around auto dueling. It would have to be like a Car Wars campaign.
Got ya. Yeah.
Kind of thing. But yeah, it's really, really cool. So it is a skirmish game, but it's a skirmish game that can be played as an RPG, which is fucking cool. When you get into the rules, though, they are terribly hard to comprehend.
Cool, yeah,
and
maneuvers and
the
everything.
reason is because, once again, much like GURPS, Steve Jackson writes like a fucking moron. So I said the same thing about GURPS, right? I remember once I was talking to my buddy Eric, and he was telling me that GURPS is like one of the most complicated systems in the world. And he was saying like, oh, don't you? He was taking the piss out of it, and he was saying, I think something along the lines of, don't you have to roll like 4 dice to determine how many hairs you have on the back of your head before you do anything, and all of this. And I was like, that's not my impression of GURPS at all.
That's fatal, mate.
No, if that came across in the GURPS rulebook, that's because he's done a terrible job of writing about it. The fact of the matter is GURPS is written quite badly as well.
Yeah, but our game flows.
It's very simple and has a great flow to it.
Yeah.
And same goes for Car Wars, but it's written so badly.
Right.
So badly.
Steve.
But once you get into it and you sort of like start to read it, yeah. But Steve, come on, mate.
Come on, mate. What, was you pissed when you was writing this?
But yeah, here's a basic grasp on how driving works. You basically have 5 phases on each turn, right? So depending on your car's speed, you move on a different phase, as in like how fast you're going at that time, not your car's speed stat. But you can trade 1 inch on the map of forward momentum for a maneuver. So, and acceleration or deceleration depends on your car and like what mods you have built into it. And handling is dependent on a combination of your vehicle's handling class and your driver's reflexes. But this can change circumstantially. So your vehicle has like a current handling status.
Okay.
So basically, its default is its handling class, but this will go down if you fail a maneuver or hit a hazard.
Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? If you take a dink, it's going to affect your manoeuvrability. You might damage your car a little bit, or
Exactly. And every time it goes down, you have to roll on a control table, which basically tells you if you lose control or not.
Cool.
So if you lose control completely, you may need to refer to the crash table.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and this is really cool. It's like things from a minor skid to flipping your car to you might fucking
Wheel falls off.
Yeah, something like that. It's really, really cool.
Horn's just stuck.
Yeah. And you're just like, why is this happening?
Why?
But yeah, I really, really like the way it works. It's actually quite elegant. It gives it quite a realistic feel to driving. It's a little bit on the crunchy side, but not that much. I mean, you saw how long the rulebook is.
Yeah,
not that long.
It's not that bad. I mean, what are we looking at? 63 pages.
Yeah.
So it's not huge, is it? I mean, and that's an A4. It's a small pamphlet size.
And the actual bit just about the driving isn't that long. So I mean, it's easy. It's easy once you get your head around it and you can understand Steve Jackson's writing.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, there's sample vehicles in here. You've got scenarios, accessories, vehicle design. Cool. So you can probably go into depth on your vehicle design, which is really cool.
But yeah, there's a bit about maneuvers. So basically, like, whenever you attempt a maneuver, it has a difficulty assigned, and the higher the number, the more difficult it is to succeed. And that's about it. So the book gives examples such as a drift, a controlled skid, a T-stop, a fishtail, and combat is basically pretty straightforward, but it adds specific rules for some of the important stuff, such as vehicular fire and how likely each weapon is to start a fire in a car, depending on where it hits it. But you've got what the book calls hand weapons, so they're guns like wielded by humans, such as submachine guns and pistols, so you can like lean out and
We're
just
talking
shoot
road
someone's
rage
car.
style now.
Exactly.
Nice.
And then you've got mounted weapons such as laser weaponry, flamethrowers, rocket launchers, and dropped weapons such as flaming oil.
Now we're talking rock and roll racing.
Yeah. And then you've got mine droppers and spike droppers.
Awesome.
And
does it one character that drives a car, or can you have multiple people?
You can have a crew in your car with you.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you could have 2 drivers in one car. So it does say that you could have two players be in one car.
Wicked.
So if you wanted to like be
2 PCs in one car.
yeah, so
awesome.
you could be have a whole crew man one car. So
Yeah.
if you wanted to be one team.
Yeah.
That
could be fun. That could be a lot of fun. You know, the whole party is one big team in a huge truck.
Exactly.
Ass.
So you could even have, if you had 5 players,
I like that.
you could have 4 guys in one car, or two guys in one car, and then 3 outrider motorbikes, or something like this, and be a team and face off against other teams.
A death
things
convoy.
like this.
Yeah, I like it, mate.
To be fair, I don't know if there are any rules in actual rules in the AADA about that, you know,
Right.
in world rules. Do you know what I mean? But like, you could do that.
You add them, yeah, of course you can. Yeah, exactly.
So the vehicles are awesome as well. You've got cars, motorbikes, and trikes, basically.
Trikes,
if
nice.
I'm not mistaken, I'm fairly certain you can play boats and planes too, but I think that might be an add-on that was in automotive dueling monthly.
Sure.
or
It'd be
whatever it's
there'd
called.
be like a river map, a lake map or something like that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I'm fairly certain you can do that because I think there might be boat tokens in the box.
Oh, sweet, nice.
Yeah, you can do that. But yeah, and all of the cars you can basically mod them with fuckloads of accessories like targeting computers, shit like this.
So you can mod out your suspension. There's loads in here. You can have power plants. You can change your chassis, weapons, cargo holds, accelerations.
Yeah,
tires.
I mean it's like everything you could want, man. It's pure cheese, but the actual playing it.
This is a bit weightist. For game purposes, all humans are assumed to weigh 150 pounds. What about the large people in the world?
I want to be a fatty.
Yeah, what if you want to be a fatty driver?
Because that would be brilliant.
Yeah, on a cycle.
Yeah, if you wanted to launch yourself onto somebody else's car as a weapon to slow somebody down.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Put him in the cannon.
Off I go! Raw!
We have to play this game.
Take that, you bitch!
Just fucking head goes through the wind mirror.
I completely agree. After reading it, that's basically it. That's all I got to say on Car Wars. But basically,
It's cool.
after reading it, I think it would be fucking fantastic to play a game in that. Especially if you see some of the drama that fucking happens in Robot Wars in this country.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine that, but if this were people's actual lives on the line, I mean, that would be so much fun.
Or just like a wheel falls off and it's like, shit, get out, grab that wheel.
I mean,
and then you
it
have to
sounds
like
like-
put it back on quickly before you get blown up again or something.
I mean, it sounds amazing. Imagine how much fun we had in the fucking the car battle in Bubblegum Crisis recently. Imagine if that was fleshed out and it was a system made specifically for car battles.
Oh,
and then we
man.
added some role playing in with some GURPS character sheets.
I was just
behind
about
the
to say,
scenes.
also, remember how much fun we had in the GURPS game when we was in a big arena fight competition and all the crowd were cheering and all that, like, people were going crazy. Do you remember Jane the Beheader and all that? Imagine that element, but rather than fighting, it's car fighting. You've got a big arena, people cheering you on, you've got all the showmanship. It sounds really good.
So yeah, I really, really highly recommend getting this. You can pick it up on Amazon for like 20 quid for that box.
That's not bad at all.
So,
You get everything you need straight out of the box. I mean, like you said, or even if it's maybe not so much a campaign, it could just be almost like a one shot, a different one shot.
Yeah.
If you don't fancy playing a run of the mill RPG, you crack Car Wars out for a change.
Yep.
I like it. I'm really
Great.
impressed with it actually, and at that price, it's very good.
So yeah, Car Wars, mate.
Go
Check
check
it.
Car Wars out. It's a classic. The Rules Light RPG where cats save the world and the humans just open the tuna.
Brilliant. I really wasn't expecting that.
Oh dear. So basically, this is Call of Cthulhu. Very clever. Very clever, Joel Sparks. I like what he's done there. It's basically a game where you play cats. It's brilliant. You play cats. You save the world. And all this is done kind of like like in secret, and the humans don't understand. So rather than the humans thinking that they own it's my pet and I look after the cat. Oh no. Truth is, when they go out to work and stuff, they're stopping evil monsters from taking over and stuff like that.
So this is wait, it's not called Call of Cthulhu though.
Yes, it is.
No, oh it is. I thought it was Cats of Cthulhu.
No, it's Call of Cthulhu.
Why did I think that? I'm an idiot.
That might be the third book.
Oh right.
No,
mind.
that's Worlds of Cthulhu.
Sorry.
Sorry, book 2's Cats of Cthulhu.
So I've just interrupted the flow.
Call of Cthulhu. Sorry, right. Yeah. So anyway,
Doesn't matter.
So you play cats. So what I like is very rules light. It's very easy. The way they word it in the book is the fact that cats can't do maths, so the game shouldn't have any kind of maths in it. So there's no need to add things up and stuff like that. It's very, very simple. You can just use a normal dice, normal six-sided dice, and it's basically with the cat dice you get a happy cat or a sad cat. If you get 2 happy cats, it's a success, and that's about it. There's no numbers. Or you get so an easy challenge would be you've just got to get one cat face out of a row, or a normal challenge you might have to have two, and if it's difficult, 3. And it goes into good detail about what type of cat you are. So when you're creating your cat, first of all you need to determine what role you want. So you could be there's 5 roles. You could be a cat robat, which is basically self-explanatory. So your agility is really good, stuff like that. A pussyfoot. You could be a scrapper. which is the old tomcat down the road with a torn up ear.
Yeah.
You could be a tiger dreamer, which is almost like a seer or like a kind of a mystical kind of
So
cat.
he's the one that will probably determine where the badness is.
Probably, yeah. And you've also got you've got the two-footologist, which is basically cats that have studied human behaviour and they understand how humans work. They understand how things that humans use work. Because remember, you're a cat, so you don't know how a computer works. You don't know. I mean, just being in a house that's been locked is a difficult situation to be in if you need to get out. You have to use your catty skills to kind of, just do the most mundane things. So once you've picked your role and what type of cat you're going to be, your next step, let's just read. Shall I read Tiger Dreamer to you? All cats know that they are tigers in disguise. If humans and dogs choose to be fooled by size, all the easier to get away with things. A tiger dreamer has a special connection with cats' mighty ancestry. This cat sleeps a lot, even more than other cats, and in dreams finds answers. Awake, the dreamer's lifetime of accumulated wisdom about the true tiger way helps other cats succeed. So they're like a kind of wise, mystical cat.
Nice.
And I like the two-footologist. That's really cool. So many cats live with humans. Some brainy cats have made a close and extensive study of the two-foots and their ways. Two-footologists don't like the nickname poker, but that's what many call them. A poker often knows or can figure out how human devices work, from doorknobs to toilets to simple machines. So they're the guys. They're the guys you need to understand the human world, if you like.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they're your roles. Once you've determined what role you want, you then go into like your appearance, and you can say like what type of breed you are. If you're an indoor cat, you're an outdoor cat. You're spotty or.
So what kind of adventures do you play in this? Then is it like fucking? What are you taking down Cthulhu monsters? Because on the second one, what's that fucking thing that's on the front of it? It looks like a whale.
It's like a fish cat. Yeah. So the second book. So it comes in like the first book's kind of just an introductory.
That's like the character creation book.
Exactly, character creation, small introduction on things like
how to play.
The rules. Yeah, you have things like you can kind of like push a roll. I think you use like treats and things like this. The second book's more about the world. So you've got all like old cat gods and stuff, or you've got like not even just cat gods. You've got like the toad god. You've got Snarro Nephotep. You've got you've got the insect god. You've got the rat god. You've got the dog god and all this and like. Yeah, so these are animal gods, some good, some bad. And obviously, their evil influences are trying to take over the world. But behind... it's almost like a secret war, if you like. The humans are completely oblivious to all this. And you cats are basically protecting.
So, like, at night, you'll go out, you'll be fighting monsters.
Or monster animals, yeah.
So,
exactly.
Okay. So, I see, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so
It's like beyond... But at night, all the animals come to life. They're actually secretly evil, and the cats are the ones protecting society.
Exactly. That's exactly
so and then you use all these abilities to basically fight evil.
Exactly.
So, can you talk to each other?
No, you can't talk as in... that's a very good point, actually, because I've read about this. You can't talk to the humans, obviously.
No, but
I think you can understand each other.
So, so you just...
kind of hisses and whatnot.
But I assume you would just say...
Fuck's sake.
But I assume you would just say to each other at the table, I'm talking
in cat.
but you would just talk in English.
Yeah, I was thinking...
As opposed to sitting there just meowing at each other all
It's
night.
like, what are you saying?
That might just get bloody annoying. Imagine if we were playing at yours, Nick, and then Carmen came in to like get a cup of tea or something like that. She would just think we're nuts.
What the hell? Well, that
And
was
we'd
a
just
bit...
be like, meow, meow, meow.
Well, do you know, it was quite funny actually because last night she was like, I was listening to your game, I was actually getting quite into it, and when we was all like, anyway, we was having a bit of like, and we was all talking, and then like we was doing like,
oh yeah, because in general we
ribbits
play
and
at
stuff.
animals, yeah, and we and my character's a toad, so like we were sort of interjecting our speech with like our animal noises, and so every so often there was like quite a serious bit, wasn't there? And I was just like, listen, I'll help you as long as I can find my brother. You gotta help me, blip. It was like
when you done your animal power, but you messed up your agility, so you kind of landed on the ground and then flew away so quick no one noticed, and you just like, blip, and then you was gone.
I think like Call of Cthulhu would be full of moments of like those.
Yeah.
You know what it reminds me of a little bit is the Nibelonians from Futurama. Because they're like really cute, but they deal with these like cosmic level threats.
Exactly,
and they're just like, no, we are not cute.
We are actually protectors of the universe.
And they're like, ah,
aren't you sweet? No, I'm not sweet.
Yeah, so I think, what do you think, Nick? It looks good?
It looks fun. It looks It looks like something. I think it's a good game for like if you just want something really different.
Really quick to.
If you've been
quick
playing
and
a lot of
different.
D&D, or you've been playing a lot of something, or you've been playing big old campaigns where you've got to take all these kind of stats into consideration, and you've got
In this,
like-
you just roll a couple of dice in, and it's like either just successes and fails, and
exactly.
that's it. And then
That's simple as that.
pick a class, successes and fails.
Be a cat,
Nice and simple.
get some cat powers, and do cat-like things and save the universe.
So it
It's
might be
pretty
good,
cool.
good little game for one shots and things like that.
Absolutely, yeah. I
So,
think so.
with regards to the third book, we can't find it on the internet, so we're just.
But what I'll do when I get it, we're doing it again. We'll do a full
We'll
review.
probably
once,
talk about
once
it.
we've played it and stuff. We'll maybe do a full review, a full episode on it.
Yeah, or we'll probably just talk about it on what you've been saying or
that's
something
true,
like that.
of course.
'cause
Yeah, it's true.
I don't think that book's going to be big enough. For that.
That's true.
But yeah, so yeah, that's cool. That's Call of
Call
Hello.
of Cthulhu. It's nice and cheap. You can get it on Drive-Thru RPG on print on demand, I believe, and I think it's about 15 quid for the book, if that, tenner. And yeah, the first book's very small, but if you do like it, go out and get yourself the second book because it's about 3 times the size. And
Yeah.
it's full colour. It goes into all the gods.
Cheap as fuck as well.
Cheap as hell. Yeah. And it's cracking. So yeah, it was written by Joel Sparks. Well done, Joel. And I look forward to playing it.
You're a perfectly ordinary schoolgirl at Sakuraba High. Well, ordinary apart from you're a cyborg. No, wait, I need to start that again. I need to start that again.
I hadn't read that.
Don't laugh.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. You're a perfectly ordinary schoolgirl at Sakuraba High. Well, ordinary apart from being a cyborg and a cat girl. Your best friend is normal too, though. Apart from being a demon with an overactive imagination, of course. You were having a pretty typical day at school. You know, a ninja attack during homeroom. Then you found a secret treasure. Then Freddie Mercury stopped by the school. Normal stuff. Fuck's sake, man.
Freddie's just in the background.
Of course, we are talking about Schoolgirl RPG.
Of course we are. You know, just a ninja attack.
It wouldn't be a Tabletop Twats episode without some weird Japanese shit.
Oh, man.
Actually, believe it or not, mate, this isn't Japanese.
No?
No, it's Japanese inspired, but it is, it is written by a bloke called Ewan Clooney, and I will get into that in a bit. But I came to have this game because my lovely mum bought it for me as a gift.
Oh, bless.
She clearly knows
Oh, happy
me well,
birthday,
man.
by the way. It was her birthday the other day, wasn't it?
It was. Happy
Yeah.
birthday, mum. I don't know if she listens to this anymore. I think she got fed up after that sexy episode that we did. No, so yeah, my mum bought me this. So she clearly knows me very well. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, like basically, this is written by a bloke called Ewan Clooney, right? And you
I recognise that name.
yes, he was the translator for Maid.
Ah, yes.
And what he's done here is he has 100% ripped off the Maid rule set and used it to make his own game.
Oh, and that's his game.
Yep.
Oh, dear.
So it's a little bit cheeky what he's done here. And not only that, but his other games, Magical Fury and another one that he did, use the same rule set as well.
Right.
So he's been dining off the shit he learnt from when he translated Maid, and he's made a little career out of it, mate. So I don't know if I'm happy with that, but there you go.
Well, there you go.
Is that legal? I don't even know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I suppose it depends if the dice system is copyright or not. If it's not.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a little bit cheeky, but basically, in Maid, right? If you recall, you roll a d6 and then add your ability score
Yep.
to do anything, right? And then when you fail a task, you take stress points
Yep.
equal to, I believe, if I recall correctly, it was the losing score divided by the winning score.
That's
something
right.
like
Yeah,
that,
I'm
right?
sure it's something like that. Yeah.
So so I'll explain how this works, right? So this game is basically the same as Maid, but set in a school. So the GM is a teacher, right? Or teachers.
Yeah.
And the players are schoolgirls. So whenever you do anything, you roll a d6.
Oh, so
and
it's an all-girls school then?
not quite. No, you can't. There are rules to play as blokes as well. Similarly to Maid. Maid
Right.
is called Maid RPG,
Of
but
course,
you
yeah.
can play butlers.
Yep.
I think it's just called that to sort of rope people in. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of encouraged that you play a schoolgirl because it's funnier.
Yeah,
'Cause
of course.
I think they know that most role players are men, and
Yeah.
so they think it's funny to get people to be schoolgirls. I think that's basically it.
Got ya.
But exactly the same as Maid. Whenever you do anything, you roll a d6 and add the appropriate attribute. But sometimes you'll have the game will call to roll a d6. So you roll 2 dice and then you take each one is a digit, right? So you read it from left to right. So if you roll 1 and a 3, that's a 13.
Yep.
or the 666. So if you roll 1, 2, 3, that's 123.
Same as Mutant Year Zero uses that as well.
And Maid as well.
Yep.
Funnily enough, because he's ripped it right the fuck off.
Rip that shit off, mate!
I'm watching you, Clooney.
Yeah, I've started a new game. It's called Gen Rab Falfa. It's loosely
Yeah, I
based
made
on...
my new one is called Fungens and Fraggins, and my new company is called Fizzards of the Coast.
No, hold on a minute.
Oh no, that's a completely original. You can't do shit.
I've got a new game called Burps.
Beneric Universal Bowl playing.
Another one.
So basically, you got stats in this, right? And the stats that you have to add your D6 roll to are athletics, charm, cunning, guts, luck, and study. Each schoolgirl also has a special quality. You can either roll randomly or pick these. So your special quality can be things like cross-dresser, biker delinquent,
Biker delinquent.
yeah, demon, vampire, or you have anime tropes in here, and this guy really knows his stuff because you've got things like tsundere or hikikomori.
Oh, you have to tell me what they are.
So tsundere, I believe, is somebody that is reserved and shy at first, but then lets out their true emotions later once you get to know them.
Okay.
And then hikikomori is somebody that stays inside most of the time and is depressed, which I don't see how that works because you wouldn't go to school. But there you go.
It's just the emo one, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's like basically if you play that, you just don't play the game. You turn up like, oh, I rolled hikikomori. I'm going home, guys. See you later.
It's been a good game.
Hey, good game, guys.
Good game. GG's.
So in the expanded version, there's absolutely loads. So basically, I've got the complete edition here.
Oh, excellent.
So in the expanded version, there's absolutely fucking loads of these like special qualities, right? And there's a actual D666 table, so you can roll 3d6 to determine which one you get, and there's absolutely tons. So he's put loads of effort into that. So basically, in this game, the schoolgirls basically have to struggle to live mundane school lives and appease the teacher, right? And failure to do this and failure on any roll will cause them to take stress. So essentially, once you reach your stress limit, exactly the same as Maid, so anybody that's familiar with that system, they will do a stress explosion whether they like it or not. Now this basically...
He wouldn't have ripped off Favour though, would he?
He has. Surprise, surprise. But it's called something else. But in this, he's just stress explosions was this thing that was in Maid, but it's called the exact same thing. So basically, what this is whether you like it or not, your character's going to do something against their will. So each character has their own signature stress explosion. So you might start throwing things, you might start crying, it being indiscriminately violent, setting things on fire, or wrestling people.
Yeah.
Now these ones, all of them in this are unique to this game. So to be fair, he has made up his new ones, except for the crying one. That one was the same. But then you have you have plot points, right?
Okay, yep.
So that's what is called favour. So you can use these to remove stress, and you lose one every time you have a stress explosion. So you can get these back if you impress the teacher by doing something awesome.
Okay, yep.
So like, for example, if I recall correctly, in Maid, now I'm sorry for being a sexist, but in Maid, somebody gave the master a sexual manoeuvre, didn't they?
Yes, I did.
And then they got a favour point back.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do things like that. But additionally, people also got favour by doing sick combat moves.
Yep.
They did it by cleaning well. They did it by doing loads of
Witty
stuff.
quips.
Yeah, loads of things. So if your plot points reach 0, you're expelled and you're out of the game.
Oh boy.
Bizarrely, it doesn't actually say that in the book anywhere. But I know that's the rules because I've read Maid.
Right, yeah.
So funny enough.
Oh, yeah, because you get sacked in Maid, didn't you?
But he accidentally left that out of his book. Oops. I only knew that because I've got Maid. That was a good thing. So you've also got schoolgirl powers. So you see what your highest attribute is, roll on a table, and then you get a power relating to that attribute. So, for example, if your highest attribute is charm, you might get this one, instant party. You can spend 1 plot point to have everything turn into a giant party. Hey. So you could be in the middle of a class, right? Some shit goes down that you don't like. The teacher's coming towards you and she goes, hey, you passing a note? And you go, instant party, and everyone's like,
Yeah. It's like you come walking in, it's a shitty rainy day on a Monday morning, and the teacher's like, so we've got a test for you today, and you're like, no, it's party time.
yeah, and then Hasselhoff kicks the door in.
Yeah, the fucking disco ball comes down.
And the teacher, but even the teacher joins in.
Yeah.
Suddenly she comes
throws
in.
the test papers in
And she's
the air.
like, fuck it, guys. Hey, let's go. And she gets a doobie out of her drawer. She's puffing away.
You just hear, school's out for some.
Hey, I didn't know Thin Lizzy went to this school. Yeah, so it's pretty
Brilliant.
cool, man.
That's funny. I like
one.
that.
Another one is if your highest attribute is luck. Chance meeting. By taking 2 stress points, when an NPC turns up, you can have an NPC that's just showing up for the first time be an acquaintance from some time before.
Okay.
So you can, your character just already knows them.
So, yeah.
So things like that. So this game has plenty of random events as well. So that's one way this game can be played. So yeah, you just go to school, have a normal day, and then the GM rolls on this D6 table.
You read
and
it
then,
from left to right.
Yeah, and then it will determine this fucking event, right? So it has tables for events at school, after school, downright surreal events, spooky, everyday life, summer break, and at the beach house.
At the beach house, yo!
But you know, it's funny because those things are literally every single like typical anime scene. If you've ever watched an anime based in a school, which like is basically 98% of animes, they're literally they always take place at a beach house, summer break, at a school. So like pretty much, he's nailed it there. And it's got a D666 random items table, which are things like 1-up. And there's one that's just called anxiety. Just anxiety.
Just anxiety.
So you just get like
Just
that.
get anxiety.
No, it's an item. So I don't know what the fuck it is.
It's like is it like a little empty jar?
Yeah, and you
When
just open it, it just goes.
Papa Roach starts playing in the background.
Cut my life into. Put the lid back on it. Put the lid back on.
Shut that anxiety up.
Magic beans. There's skeleton. Just a skeleton.
Just skeleton, yeah.
A sword. There's a taiko drum. A telepathic roach.
What the heck? What's that like? What, for a
It's
joint?
a Papa Roach. They're back. Let Papa Roach come in, and they're like, Papa Roach, and they're like, we've seen there's a dark omen. And you're like,
seen the
thanks, Papa Roach. See you later, guys.
Bye!
Oh, God, thank God for them. They're so helpful.
That telepathic roach.
But then there's magical items, right? There's one I didn't actually write down like what it does. I just love the name. It's called Instant Hell Murder. Don't know what it does. I don't want to know what it does. I just love the name.
I can only imagine, yeah. And it's instant as well. It's just like a demon just envelops you and goes.
But what's a hell murder? Is that like worse than regular murder?
Hell murder. God knows. Yeah, good point.
Yeah. There's questionable bento. Gives someone 3d6 stress.
As in bento box.
Yeah. It's just a lunch.
Questionable lunchbox.
That just gives you stress. Yeah.
So it's like someone pulls out their lunchbox. It's like a pink My Little Pony one. It's like, oh, I don't know. Look
That's
at that.
questionable.
This is stretching you out. And when they open it up, it's got like really odd sandwiches. Like,
This is the most questionable lunch I've ever had. So there's a instant Oni gun, which turns anyone into an Oni, which is like a Japanese demon.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
And then there is a cursed videotape, which is literally the video.
A la The Ring.
Exactly, yeah. So it's cracking, mate.
That's cool. I like that.
So it's got all the anime tropes in there, which is pretty cool. I mean, the only thing is that I will say in Maid they had all the anime tropes in there and then some.
Yeah.
It had all of that in spades, but then it had loads of creativity in it as well. It had all the shit you'd expect, and then all the shit
so much more as
that
well.
you just would
Yeah.
never expect in a million
Yeah.
years. Like, this is cool. This is cool for anime fans. And totally, I want to fucking play this. It'll be such a good laugh because it's made set in a school.
You could do Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, I'm down for that. Like Saved by the Bell, then Freddie Mercury and Thin Lizzy and Papa Roach come in. Like, I'm up for that.
We've got a great game already.
But the fact of the matter is that like, I think that the way this is an expansion for Maid. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and for what it is, I'm in, man.
Yeah.
It's great. It's a cool little book.
Reasonably priced.
I think like, you know, I don't want to guess at the price because I got it as a gift.
Oh, of course,
but I reckon it was like a tenner or something like that.
Nice.
And I'm well up for that. I'm
Yeah, because
happy with that.
Maid's not extortionate either, is it?
Exactly. So yeah, nice little book.
Buy it.
I think he was a bit morally wrong what he did to make it, but like whatever, man. I'm perfectly happy with that. I think it's a really really cool little thing. I was really pleased to get it actually.
I'll tell you what, that party pack is just full of fun.
Exactly.
They're all really good fun.
What a party pack.
What a party pack.
Yeah, Car Wars, Call of Cthulhu, and Schoolgirl RPG.
Brilliant.
Go out and check those out, guys, because we recommend them all. I'm definitely going to play
I like
them.
that they're all kind of like, not so much pocket size, but nigh on. They're all little. Look, Car Wars is small, These are small. The made book. Sorry, whoops. Schoolgirl RPG. Book's quite small. Like I don't know. Yeah, it really work. It really jives with the kind of thing we're going for.
Yeah,
I
actually,
like it.
we got all small books this time.
Yeah.
So,
Very cool.
small books that are in.
What's
Small
your
books.
fave?
Oh, that's a good question, man. I didn't think it was going to come down to this. But if I was going to pick one next to play,
Yep.
I'm probably going to say Car Wars.
Same.
But I will say that if I'm being honest, the one I'm likely next to play is probably going to be Schoolgirl RPG.
Yeah.
Simply because I know that there's going to be a point where I'm going to need to run a one-shot because, people haven't turned up or something like this.
Yeah.
And then I'll run a session.
Just bang
of
a
that.
schoolgirl out. Like it.
Wow.
That sounds awful, doesn't it? Bang a schoolgirl RPG out, should I say?
Let's move on.
Let's move on. Yeah, no, I really, really, really want to play Car Wars. It looks
So
like
do I.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I do really want to run Call of Cat Foodie for you guys because I just really love to see a load of fully grown men sitting around the table meowing.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
We got ideas that are coming out the wazoo, so we'll talk about them now and give them to you. That's what this segment is. We come up with new games like, I don't know, The Hunger Games. People with the same name in an arena fight to the death. As ideas go, it's not one of my best. The segment's called The Game Design Guys. Best idea gets a game design prize. Now, this is a brand new segment called The Game Design Guys, and we are the Game Design Guys. It's us.
It's us.
We're full of fucking ideas, mate, and we just want to fucking fart some of those out for you.
All over the show.
So basically what this is what we're going to do is we are, in this segment, going to come up with a new game with a new mechanic each.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we're going to do in this segment. And that's basically it. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
And what we want to do is encourage people to send their game mechanics in.
Yep.
And
And then we're going to steal the ideas and publish them.
Exactly.
I mean,
well, we are.
Yeah.
There's no bones about it.
no.
So but send your ideas in as well, and the next time we do this segment, we will read them out.
Yes, absolutely.
But I've come up with a fucking great one.
Go on.
Honestly, this is a corker. This is a brand new mechanic, right?
Yeah.
Because every single fucking RPG, or not every single one, but I'm sure there are exceptions, but most of them use dice rolling, right?
Yeah.
And I think I've come up with a genius new idea of how to get rid of dice rolling.
Whoa.
So, in this game, right, I don't know what I'm going to call it. I think I'm going to call it Ghost Roulette, right?
Cool. Yeah.
So basically, in this game, you play as people that have the magical gift to speak to ghosts. And these ghosts give you the power to achieve certain tasks, right?
Cool.
Certain supernatural tasks. So in this game, most mundane things such as climbing, running, things like this, those will almost always be automatic depending on your stats, right? So you just have a number and that will always determine how well you do it, right? And but basically any other stuff, any supernatural abilities that you have that you choose at your character creation, you do roll for those in air
Right.
quotes,
Yeah.
but you don't roll for it.
Okay.
You have to have a laptop with you at
Right.
the time, right?
Okay.
And you have a chat roulette window out.
God.
And every time you want to roll, right, you have to press the button to get a new stranger on chat roulette to come up,
F9.
and you have to tell them, say a number. And it can be any number, right? They might even just go 2 million,
They'd just be
and then the
talking
GM
cock.
has to roll with
It'd
it.
just be talking cocks, though.
Well, that's the risk that
That's
you
the
take.
way it rolls, mate.
Right, so then
love it.
the GM, even if they say a number that's unbelievably ridiculously high,
We gotta do it now.
that means that no, I'm not doing it.
We
now.
gotta do it
I'm not
right
going to look
now.
at a penis on the internet.
We've got to go on chat roulette, press the button once, and just shout, "Say a number."
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Honestly, the risk at seeing a penis, I just don't want to do it. But my point is,
Go
right,
on.
is that even if they say a number that's so ridiculously high, the law is that those people are the ghosts that are helping you give you the supernatural abilities. So if you just say a number and they go 2 million, right, that's so unbelievably high that you achieve the task to a ridiculous degree.
Love it, yeah.
So let's say your ghost ability is shooting, and somebody comes on and goes 2 million. Well, that means you obliterate your opponent. They become dust.
Yeah, exactly.
But if they come on and they go 1, that means that was an unhelpful, avengeful ghost that does not like
Or it's like
you.
someone that comes on and just goes, "Apple."
Yeah,
And you're like,
and
well,
that means that's a crit fail.
Crit fail. Yeah, I like it. Yeah,
so they
that's
don't
cool.
say a number, you fail.
If they just waggle their penis,
if they're just jerking it
Plus
furiously,
one.
that's a crit fail. So that's Ghost Roulette, mate.
I love it.
That's my game. idea.
that's mental. I love that. That's
I actually,
so funny.
I would, if it weren't for the like sheer number of penises. You know what you could do though? Is just put a post-it note over that part of the screen.
That's true.
Actually,
you generally know where the penis is going to pop up in the screen, so if you could just kind of censor that bit, and then
press the new stranger button. every time.
Ghost bellies talk to us all the time.
Ghost bellies.
Because you just see the belly, wouldn't you? You wouldn't
Oh
see
yeah,
the
yeah.
knob.
Just put it over the penis bit. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, so my game's a bit. I was thinking about it at work today, and I was thinking, what's a weird concept that I'm aware of has been done yet? And an idea popped into my head before, and I was thinking about it a little bit more today, and I thought, you know what? How cool would it? Well, I don't know if it'd be cool or not, but bear with me. So the game is
okay. So that's the game idea, right? There's a bear with you.
there's a bear with you, walks around the whole time. And no, I was thinking, what if your character was a function within a human body? So, for argument's sake, the GM is the body, the person's personality. So they might go to a party and get drunk, and then one of your characters might be the guy that's in charge of the liver.
Oh my god, that's fucking genius.
So his job is to battle whatever it is to stop this guy getting drunk, or it might be that the body does something ridiculous.
And the game could just be called like Jeff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or being Jeff.
And then as all the players have to control, each have to be a function in the body.
And work together, otherwise shit can go wrong. So if the lungs aren't doing something or they're rolling badly, Jeff might be like,
yeah, so
and
you're
he just can't breathe.
You're like, come on, left leg, what are you doing?
Yeah, he's like,
fuck you, right leg.
Yeah, exactly. So you're going to get party conflict. You've got to try and work together because you literally are all the same thing, and you're working against the GM. Not against the GM, but the GM is the personality of Jeff. You're just the mechanical body parts of Jeff.
So I guess you need to have like a gender balance thing, right? So it's called Jeff or Jeffina, right?
Exactly.
And so then you pick at the start. Everyone picks if they want to play the male or the female one, and then each person picks a body part, right?
I'll play the penis.
So all the other ones are controlled by the GM, right?
Yeah.
So they're the NPCs, but. I think you have to be like really critical parts, right? So the brain is the fact that all the players are playing together.
Yeah.
But then you pick. That is fucking. Oh, that would be so funny.
Do you like that?
Imagine the stupid shit that they would be doing, man. It'd be like you roll a crit fail on arm, and it's just like all you're trying to do is like shake your boss's hand, and you just and an arm just punches him in the face, and you're like, arm.
Can you imagine going
Come
out and a whole adventure is going out on a first date, and obviously you want to
And then, like,
be on side with Jeff because it's all part of you.
But and then everyone else is killing it, man. They're eating the food. Like the left arm is fucking is like cutting, whilst right arm is
he's
putting the
twiddling
food
his
in the mouth
fork and stuff
and
as
then,
well.
But then suddenly she says, so what are you into? And then Mouth is like, right, I'm just gonna roll speech, and he just goes
spits all over her.
yeah, and she's just like, fuck, you fucked it all up,
And just walks out. Yeah, exactly.
Oh man,
So there you go, being Jeff or Jeffina.
Being Jeff or Jeffina. Fuck, that's a good game.
That's my game.
Oh my god, that would be so choice. Oh, we've made two really good games.
I think so, yeah.
We need to copyright those.
Copyright
Do not
all of that.
Get the fuck out of my space, man. So we got Ghost Roulette and being Jeff and Jeffina.
Yep.
We the game design guys.
We the game design guys. That's what we do.
Song fight. You can hear some sad music now because this is going to be the last ever song. Well, it's not even really a song fight. Basically, we're going to make this the last ever song fight because these songs are basically they're too much. They're too much to do. So we're going to stop doing them for now. We're probably going to pick this segment up again at some point. So we did have a subject in mind where we were going to make songs about attrition. No, not about attrition. It wasn't that. It was about gripes in games, and I made a song about attrition and about how combat in certain games is really boring.
Yeah.
So I've got a song for you now, but basically, yeah, this song, this segment is kind of like it's too much sort of work for Nick to do during the week while he's got his job going on and stuff, and I've got other shit to do. So yeah, we're gonna retire.
Put it on the back burner.
We're gonna put it on the back burner for now. We might pick it up again in the future. We are gonna make the odd song here and there, and probably release them either on our YouTube or on our Bandcamp, and we will let you know
We
when
would
that
like
happens.
to release a second album in the future at some, wouldn't we?
Exactly.
We'd like
but
to,
for
yeah.
now, here is my song. This is simply called
War of Attrition.
Cool.
I hit him, then he hits me. I hit him, then he hits me. I hit him with the mace, then he hits me. Doesn't really matter, cause I got 43 HP. I gotta hit a different guy now, so I ready my mace and I turn around. I hit him, then he hits me. I hit him, then he hits me. D&D, it's all about attrition. Pathfinder, it's all about attrition. 13th age, it's a war of attrition. Do you really wanna play 4 hours of missing? D&D, it's all about attrition. Pathfinder, it's all about attrition. 13th age, it's a war of attrition. Made RPG, it's the game that I'm missing. Hit him with the spell, he hits me. Hit him with the spell, he hits me. I go down, but it doesn't really matter, cause nobody dies in D&D. Saving throw, get back up. He misses me, hit him with the spell. Magic missile, does 3 damage. Loot their corpse, nothing in his baggage. D&D, it's all about attrition. Pathfinder, it's all about attrition. 13th age, it's a war of attrition. Do you really want to play 4 hours of missing? D&D, it's all about attrition. Pathfinder, it's all about attrition. 13th age, it's a war of attrition. Made RPG, it's the game that I'm missing.
Nick is vaping out the window. Oh no, don't want that one to play. But yeah, so
That's brilliant,
that was
mate.
my attrition song.
That reminds me of what does that remind me of? Scroobius Pip.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's wicked, mate.
That's a very, very damning thing to say about Scroobius Pip. But there you go. But yeah, like I don't know. So that is that for now. That's that is the last song fight song. So that's just a little treat because we're not really doing a full segment. But like, yeah. So
That was brilliant.
thank you very much.
And very true, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, very true.
I know. It's just that the combat in those games can be so boring, man.
Yeah.
And so,
Especially if it's high level stuff.
yeah, and even at low levels, man. It's sometimes just fucking. I hit him with my longsword. He hits me with his sling. I hit him with my longsword. Fuck that shit.
Oh, yeah. You know what time it is. It's time to do a deep dive because it's the time for Into the Mind of Masters. Oh, yeah, Into the Mind of Masters. Why did you stop playing? That was the shortest song in recorded history. Yeah, you're a fool.
This is our documentary segment where we have actually got access to some of the bigger companies in the world, and it's quite apt that we spoke about Car Wars today because I actually gave Steve Jackson a message and asked him if we could come down to his studio ages ago before Cards Against Humanity was made and see what was going on.
That's right.
Down there.
Yeah.
And he's only just given us the okay to release the footage. So yeah, we've got some audio documentary footage about what was going on back then when they made Cards Against Humanity and what was going on down at Steve Jackson Games. You know, he's made GURPS, he's a legend, and so yeah, this is a meeting that actually happened at Steve Jackson Games.
Disclaimer. For those that say that Steve Jackson did not come up with Cards Against Humanity, he definitely did, because this documentary footage is real. It's possible that maybe he came up with it during this documentary footage and then sold it to the people that make it now, but he definitely did come up with it. It's not that I didn't research this properly and just believed something somebody told me once and then made a segment out of it. It's not that. It's definitely not that.
Michael, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really enjoy these meetings with the head honcho.
Me neither. I mean, it's awful, but the thing is, we got to ask him what the next product's going to be. The company profits are going down. You know, the thing is, and who's going to get it in the arse? It's going to be us. We're going to get booted.
But last time, he flung shit at us.
Yeah, but he's a monster. He's a monster, but we got to go in there, just ask him to give us a new product, and hopefully this time it'll be gold. I mean, last time with GURPS 4th edition, we made a buck off of that, and then we were the golden boys for a couple of months.
Very true. My yacht's lovely.
Exactly. All right, come on, let's go in.
Okay.
Come in.
Hi, boss.
Alright, yeah, basically we were just wondering, mate, you know, you did Fighting Fantasy, you did Car Wars, you did GURPS, mate, and we just need a new product off you, something to fly off the shelves, and we really need something, you know, something real good, because
we want to blow a hole in the market.
Exactly, mate. You know, we really need something like another really cracking product off you, mate.
Yeah, I got a fucking idea. Right, coming up with fucking tits. Okay? Listen to me. Here's the fucking idea, right? Open your face.
I don't know what that.
Shut up. Here's the idea.
Okay.
Put a load of offensive shit on some fucking cards and put it in a fucking box and then fuck off.
So
What do you mean? That's not. It's not a game.
It is a fucking game.
what? Like when you say
is.
what? Just like any old offensive word on a
Yeah, like put the, you know the N word they use for black people? Put that on a card.
What?
Put like,
What?
Yeah, put like, jerking yourself off with sandpaper. Write that on a card. Put that in a fucking box.
But what's
Put kicking a homeless man. Write that on a fucking card. Put that in a fucking box.
but Steve?
What?
It's a
Call me Jackson.
Mr. Jackson.
No, just Jackson.
Oh, sorry.
Fuck off.
Jackson. So one small question. What?
Make it a big one.
What's the point?
What do you mean, what's the point? It's a game.
But how does it play?
You read the cards out, and you laugh. You all laugh, because it's funny, because I fucking wrote it.
Fine. Okay.
Right. We need like a title. We need a title for it. Call it off, you dick.
Might not get through censorship on that one.
It will need to sit on store shelves.
Yeah, and is it age? What's our target age market?
3 and up. Again, I mean, what you're saying there, mate, is that you really. It's not gonna.
It's Jackson. Call him Jackson. He's really angry otherwise.
It's just. I'm thinking maybe.
All right, what about this? Call it against humanity.
I really think it's a strong name.
It's
Definitely a strong name, Mr. Jackson.
Could we maybe take away the C word and change it with cards?
Oh, you're so fucking boring.
All right, fine. Cards Against Humanity. It sounds rubbish and I hate it and I hate you, but fuck off. I'm trying to drink booze and look at porn.
Okay.
Right now, fuck off.
Okay, no, we're going. We're leaving.
All right, but make sure to put like really offensive shit in there.
Sure. I mean,
Because that's funny for some reason.
Okay. Yes. I'm sure.
Bye.
Bye.
Absolutely powerful stuff there. You can see why the man's a genius.
Oh,
I
my
mean,
goodness.
that is just amazing. The man behind GURPS and Fighting Fantasy, you can see why he reached the dizzying heights
That
of creating.
role-playing, that role-playing mastermind, game writer, extraordinaire.
That is why he is now... Cards Against Humanity, you can see why nobody else could have done it.
It's so ahead of its time.
It's almost like it's backwards.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's so ahead of its time. It's almost like just a bunch.
It's almost
of
like he's
shit
gone back
cards
to
in a box. It's
but it's
crazy.
not. But it's not that.
It's a game.
It's not that. It's amazing.
It's a game.
It's definitely a game.
Of some sort.
Yep.
Anyway, thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve Jackson Games, for that.
Yeah,
You the man.
you the man.
In the future, you will be able to send a letter from anywhere on the planet. This is the future. This is the Electro Letter.
We haven't fucking spoken to Podbot in ages. Let's ask him to do the intro for this segment. Beep, boop, 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 boop. This is Electro Letters, where we read out your mail from the internet. That's the only sensible thing he's ever said.
Wow, you
well
do
done.
work, Podbot.
Pornhub.com. No.
Not that again.
Ugh. Stop saying that.
Erase browser history.
Nick, was that you doing that?
No.
Have you been looking at Pornhub on Podbot?
No. Podbot, erase
Yes.
browser history. Shut up.
Okay, so we asked you for your funny RPG stories. Which
Yeah.
actually, this is going to be good, I think, because we
Yep.
got a lot of really cool stories in from people. And the first one comes in from Morgan John Ellis, who has been away for a while.
Welcome back, baby.
Welcome back, baby. He's not a baby. He's a grown man.
He's a morgue, you idiot.
Exactly. He says, I caused a chain of events to occur that ended in TPKing the party.
Ooh.
I was playing a wild magic sorcerer in D&D 5e, which at low levels can be quite hazardous, with a few bad rolls. Me, a barbarian, a warlock, a ranger, and a rogue were fighting a band of goblins. Pretty standard first level starting adventure combat when I rolled a 1 casting a spell. I rolled on the wild magic chart, as was the penalty for such a roll. I rolled another 1 on a D100, which meant that for the next minute I would have to roll on the wild magic chart at the beginning of each round.
Ouch.
Fuck. Bear in mind that the barbarian hates magic as part of his tribal traditions. The next roll of wild magic turns the whole party invisible for 1 minute, 10 rounds of combat. Needless to say, the barbarian goes mental and starts panicking and raging. We try to calm him down, but to no avail. The goblins, meanwhile, are lost in bewilderment as they can't see us, but can hear us somehow. Next round of combat. Next wild magic roll allows us to ironically see invisible creatures. So with that done, we managed to get the barbarian under control, and with the advantage of invisibility, sneak attack the goblins. All was going well until the next round of combat, when the next round of wild magic summons a bunch of flumps. Smallish, I love that name. Flumps. Smallish demonic creatures. Yet again, the barbarian goes nuts and starts attacking them. At this point in the fight, some of us are pretty low on health, leading to the flumps knocking me, the warlock, and the barbarian out, followed shortly by the other 2 members. We all screwed up our death saves and died. Yeah, so that's a pretty terrible run of bad luck, because he's basically like, he thinks it's going okay. No, he basically gets like terrible luck, followed by some pretty good luck, followed by some terrible luck, followed by death.
And I'm not being funny, how do you TPK a straightforward bit of combat with a couple of goblins?
Holy fuck. And the fact that you rolled a 1 on the D100 immediately after a crit fail.
That's horrendous, isn't it?
Yeah. Leading to about half an hour of all of us basically pissing ourselves with laughter over how fucked up a simple encounter got in just over 3 rounds of combat.
That's got to be we got to be in touch with Guinness, haven't we, on that one?
That is like, yeah, I think that is, yeah. You know, if he fell into a barrel of gold, he would come out with a check that would bounce.
That would bounce. A rubber check.
Yeah. Boing.
Oh my god, that's brilliant.
Oh, well done, man.
So the next one's in from Peter Beckett, good friend of the show and fellow gaming party member.
Yeah.
Okay, so mine would have to be during our vampire campaign. The team was running low on blood points, so we decided to go and feed. We were driving around and found a group of 4 pre-teens waiting nearby. My character Reggie, being a Ventru, could only indulge in high-class quality blood, so he sniffed out that these mortals were top quality. We casually walked up and managed to convince 2 of the group to come down the alley with us, with James's character Veronica keeping the other 2 busy. Myself and another character, Derek, decided to chow down on these 2, 1 each. The other 2 and Veronica were nearby and could only hear some crazy loud sounds and the words of Reggie coming from the alley, "This is good shit." The other 2 kids thought that something pretty disgusting was going on down that alley.
Yeah, so basically, as they went down the alley...
This was at the uni, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was outside the uni.
Sorry, yeah.
Later on, they got caught because they thought that he was a child molester.
That's right,
because all they saw was him go down an alley with 2 kids.
Yeah.
And then all they heard was "This is good shit." It was awful. It was awful.
So bad, isn't it?
It was one of the worst things. It was like every time I think that we've hit rock bottom and we've said the most disgusting, heinous shit. It was like there was no 2 ways about it. We weren't trying to be disgusting.
No.
It's just that what those 2 kids heard from the bench outside the alley.
Yeah.
They're not going to think...
They don't know if vampires exist.
Yeah, they're not going to think it's vampires.
Yeah.
All they're hearing is gobbling and followed by this is good shit.
Yeah, so what the hell?
I mean, and it was horrible, man. It was horrible.
Oh,
and
man.
So they later on saw... They saw his character later on and instantly called the cops.
That's right, yeah, absolutely.
He was a dodgy man.
Yeah, bad man.
So the next letter comes in from Terry Hansen. He says, "I ran a game once where the players' characters were a sentient vending machine and a cat ninja that flew around on a hoverboard Roomba. One of my favourite parts was being attacked by a horde of tentacle-bearded gnomes. The vending machine attacked the gnomes by launching coffee and soda cans at them while the cat ninja just hovered overhead watching." Yeah, that was a game that we played with Terry.
I was just about to say, yeah.
Yeah, that was good, man.
I played the vending machine. That was so much fun.
Yeah, and I was the cat, and I was literally playing my cat, Fang.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was so good.
Yeah.
What did I vend? Oh, coffee, a cup of tea.
Yeah, you just... Because it was hot tea. It was like...
just threw at him. Brilliant. Thanks, Terry Handsome.
That was a really good campaign. Thanks, man.
Yeah, that was very, very good. So next story's coming from the Murder Hobo Show. What the hell's the Murder Hobo Show?
That's a great show, which you can go and watch online now. So search for that on YouTube. It's very funny, and it's run by Gary McCallum. So
And also, I do believe that he's just launched a
new podcast
Yes.
called Savage Rifters, which is all about Savage Rift. So go and check that out.
Absolutely.
But his says, I can't remember the exact details, but I'll keep it short anyways. One D&D drinking night turned a player climbing a bathroom window way too small for him because we were going to shave the one eyebrow. I had to grow my hair out for 3 months and looked like I was undergoing chemo. We chased down the runaway Chrysler in a Cordoba drunk-ass fuck and found out days later he was passed out in a ditch, so we never found. We had sushi and I don't think a single one of us didn't puke up rice twice that night. Car keys were lost, windows broken, and the neighbour threw broken lawn chairs back over the fence into our yard, which was nice of him.
So this isn't a game.
No, it's not.
This
It's
is
just-
real
it was
life.
just while D&D was being played. Fucking hell.
He sounds drunk while he wrote this one. That's brilliant.
I'm worried about him.
That's Gary.
So he clearly, during D&D, got too drunk, ate sushi, puked up rice, threw his lawn chairs into his neighbour's garden.
Shaved his mate's, or tried to shave his mate's eyebrow off, and then tried to climb through a window. Oh my good God.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, so that's a really good D&D story.
That's fantastic, yeah. That's just debauchery outside of the game.
Oh man, I love this guy.
Brilliant.
So next one comes in from Eli Kurtz as well. He says, this will be a little long. The first campaign I ever played was a D&D 3.5 e-game back in high school. My DM had just picked up the Complete Warrior supplement and I couldn't wait to play a swashbuckler at the time. It was the crowning achievement of my life. Complete Warrior had a new skill, perform weapon drill, that simulated soldiers in boot camp or juggling knives in a marketplace, that sort of thing. I wasn't a min-maxer and thought that charisma was an important stat for a swashbuckler. He's absolutely right, because they do the quips and shit.
Yeah, of course they are. They're flash, they got all the moves.
Exactly. So it made sense to have some kind of perform skill.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that I'd use it mostly to do tricks with my rapier for spare change.
Nice.
Thing is, after all the bonuses you factor into the skill, +2 for weapon focus, +2 for quick draw, +half for your base attack bonus, I quickly got a ridiculous overall for the skill. Extra planar beings took note of my performances by 3rd level. Naturally, fucking hell.
It's like gods are like, that's good.
You know, yeah, pretty good rapier tricks, bro.
Yeah.
Naturally, a high school boy found another hidden use for this skill. You see, this swashbuckler was a notorious philanderer. In taverns, my diplomacy skill got me in the good graces of various ladies, and my perform weapon drill. Well, you scumbag, Eli. Once I was walking through a grove tended by the Druids Guild. Lo and behold, a beautiful Livy earthy elf druidess comes along. Moments later, she was pleasured to the brink of death in the bushes. Well, you scumbag, Eli, you dirty dog, you dirty man. Months later, the DM managed to turn my inborn talents against me. It turns out sex was equivalent to marriage among these druids, and here I'd loved her and left her.
Ooh.
Feng, the druidess, became a secondary antagonist for the rest of the campaign. Actually, that's not quite right. Every so often, she'd track us down and attempt to exact her awful revenge, born of ecstasy and tempered by years of long scorn. Most of the time, she became an unwitting ally. Either she'd see someone trying to hurt her man and insist she was the only one allowed to hurt me, and believe me, she wanted to. Or my swashbuckler would place himself between her wrath and our enemies and then dive out the way at the last minute. I can't remember if Zap and Feng ended up together by the end of the campaign. I know she could use Beast Shape to turn into a gargantuan elemental, and I remember my swashbuckler had a flying carpet. I like that he just adds in those details at the end. He's like, well, it's, I had this woman following me and tormenting my entire life, but I had a flying carpet.
I just picture that she she got really angry with him and transformed into this huge elemental
He's
being.
like, look, listen, baby, look, it's not you, it's me. And she's like, you what?
Come here, and he's like, see ya.
You had sex with me and then left.
Carpet.
And he's just like, see you later.
Yeah. I can show you the world.
Except not you, but someone else.
You bitch. And it just like, yeah.
Man, that's a really good tale.
I like that.
I think the swashbucklers were a really, really cool class back in 3.5e. They were absolutely brilliant and really fun to play.
Mustachioed, hoop earring.
It sounds like he did it exactly as you should. You know what I mean? Because charisma is pretty much the most important stat. They're the kind of guys that will, during a fight, they're the kind of guys that will try to outwit you, and I don't mean in the way that they'll try to trick you. What I mean is that they'll try to
mentally damage you.
Exactly, they'll be the ones that are like, oh, you're gonna fight like that? Well, I remember that's how my grandmother used to fight. Ha ha! Oh, you call that a wound? That's the sort of wound a butterfly would give me, you bitch.
And then he taps on his shoulder, like, "No, I'm here. No, I'm here. Ha ha!" Just messing with him.
I can imagine Eli being really good at that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
But yeah, so cool. Let it be a lesson to all of you out there. If you mess with a woman and she torments you for your entire life, make sure you have a nice vehicle to get away on,
or at least a flying carpet.
Exactly.
Right, cool. The next our next tale's coming from Tony Fanning. And Tony writes, about 18 years ago, I wrote an RPG that involved the players, guys I've been playing with since 5th grade, playing as demons. I called it Night of the Demons. And the premise was that the demons are summoned into the world via a ritual of possession. The demons start with none of their powers active and have one night to wreak havoc upon the world before the sun rises and sends them all spiralling back into the abyss. The demons earn soul points for acts of evil, such as murder and corruption, which can then be spent to activate more and more of their demon powers. So the game tends to start small with little acts of evil and escalates to a crescendo of mass murder and horrendous debauchery.
Bloody hell, that sounds
fun. I've run this game a few times since then, and needless to say, it tends to get sick, twisted, and downright hilarious by the end of the night. Definitely sounds like one of our games. The most memorable session we've had playing this game was the night they all started as Boy Scouts at a jamboree that were possessed when they found an ancient relic during a scavenger hunt. Mayhem ensued, and they tortured, molested, and murdered their scoutmasters, stole buses, drove...
It's nice to see that happen the other way around.
Well, that's true, yeah, turning the tables a little bit.
Sorry if there are any scoutmasters listening, that was a joke.
Lighten up. Stole buses, drove them on the wrong side of the freeways, burnt down their school, pimped out their lunch lady, raided a hospital.
Yes!
Raided a hospital for drugs, and they proceeded to sell to kids in stolen ice cream truck, and then blew up the movie theatre showing a Disney movie with hentai scenes spliced into the film.
Fuck, man. I want to play in one of your games, Tony.
I need to play that game. And that's it. Just left it on that bombshell.
That is genius, man.
That sounds so freaking cool.
He wrote an RPG that involved players.
I like that you
Is that available anywhere? Can you please get in touch with us? Because I would love to run that.
Yeah, and we will happily turn that into an actual play.
Yeah, really, honestly.
I like the way it starts off like small. So would it be like, like mischief first of all?
Well, yeah, because you get first of all, like you're just testing the water to see what you can get away with.
Yeah.
Because I think if you're like it's somebody in the real world that gets possessed by these demons, right? So you start off, and I think Boy Scouts is the fucking best. Like he literally, that's the best target, isn't it? Really,
it's so good because everybody thinks that you're sweet, and you're like, oh, I'll help you cross the road, but as the little old lady's crossing, you put your foot out and she stacks.
Yeah, and you're just like, this could be fun. And then by the end, you're fucking
ripping faces off and fucking pimping out
on at the cinema. Mate, that is hilarious.
How'd you pimp out your lunch lady? Oh my god, I assume it was under duress.
By force, yeah, clearly. So the next one is from Torre B. Peterson, and he is it might be a woman. We don't know.
But so, welcome.
Welcome to them. And he says, they say, Dice of Death and the Fall of Sir Lucas. Back in my early university days, I joined my first RPG. A friend of mine ran a homebrew game where he rolled the dice.
Hey.
He used a die we just called the Dice of Death, a red D20 that rolled an obscene amount of 1s and 20s, and very often resulted in groin injuries on the hit location table. Is he playing Fatal?
Yeah.
Another of my friends played the chivalrous young knight Sir Lucas. He was the best fighter in the party, but the dice hated him, and he always failed spectacularly. Somehow he got cursed. I think it was a ring that was randomly rolled on a table by the Dice of Death that granted Sir Lucas immortality. He could not die, but he could definitely be hurt. At one point he got boiling hot oil poured over him in full plate armour.
Ooh.
He sunk deeper and deeper and basically ended up like some Black Death Knight, and finally the dice loved him. The same game featured our entire party surfing down some slippery caves using a group of zombies we somehow gotten control over as surfboards. Yes.
Awesome.
That is amazing.
That's very good. Thank you very much, and welcome if you're a new listener.
So why did that guy fucking roll for them?
Strange. I'm like, no.
No way. And he used this specifically weighted dice that either
dice.
Fucked them or made them...
Loaded dice, yeah.
What the hell?
Oh, another hit to the nads.
Yeah.
Right, so next one's in from Sean Hunt. And he says the fight to the death for a slightly discounted weapon comes to mind.
This was dumb. This was really dumb. So in one of our Cthulhu games, Pub Cthulhu, we do it once a month. Any listeners are welcome to come to that, although I've never given out the details, so you have to figure it out.
Mystery.
Basically, one of our mates, Peter, right, he goes into this shop in Cthulhu and he says, can I roll Persuade to try and get this knife for a slightly lower price? And the guy is like this weapon enthusiast, and he's like, yeah, I'll give it to you cheaper if you fight me for it. And he's basically like, he's tossing this knife from hand to hand, and he's like, you want to fight me with a knife for a discount? I was thinking maybe just a bit of sparring, and all Peter had was a stick, right? and he goes, yeah, I'll give you a discount if you fight me for it. And so then he goes, yeah, all right. So what are you doing? You're going to fight a guy with a knife for a discount on a knife? What's wrong with you? You want 10% off? Just pay a full price for the goddamn knife. And then they fought to the death for a discount.
Oh my God.
Peter's character, no, I don't know if he died. I think he killed the shopkeeper.
And just nicked the knife.
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember who died, but it was. But
someone
died. Somebody died for a discount. That's just what I'm saying.
God.
So that was ridiculous. But very, very funny.
Yeah,
and
I bet that was
think
hilarious.
the police got
because it was
involved.
like out the back, wasn't it? The fight. You went out into the alley.
It was out the back of the shop. Yeah, it was ridiculous, but it was very, very funny. So speaking of funny, Zovia has a very, very interesting question. She is from Zovia Maps, who some of the best maps in the industry. So check her out. She says, I fancy a question. Why does humour seem to be the most important theme for gamers above all other genre of storytelling in gaming? The funny moments typically create a sense in a player that they had an enjoyable time as opposed to others. See,
good question.
I don't know if she's entirely correct there, because I will say this, that when in the Gen Lab game that we played last night, right, one of my favourite moments was some of the serious moments, right? That when I was talking to and I'll try not to spoil this because we're going to keep this but for the full episode, but I was talking to a Resistance member, and you remember we was just talking about getting my brother back, and there was like some dramatic moments, right? Some of the my favourite moments from the Bubblegum Crisis campaign or the first episode of it were some of the action moments. Some of my favourite moments from the Warhammer game were like some of the action moments,
and
right?
the civil like talk, like, you know, when we was like when we made you a leader and we was building up not resistors, but do you remember?
To be fair, there was a lot of comedy in that, but nonetheless, it was the drama of it as well.
But it was
right?
so dark that the comedy was there, but because the setting was so dark and the drama.
But I will say that I think it's what it is that the stories that everyone tells are the funny ones. But I think people just do that anyway. And I think
in life,
and with RPGs, everyone always tells the funny stories, and I think it seems like that's the focus. But I think it just tends to be those are the stories that people share. I've been thinking about this a lot all day, and I don't know if that is the most important thing for me. But
I like a good mix.
Yeah, so do I. And I think whenever we come back from our games, we always tend to go, "That was brilliant. It was so funny," or.
But even when you're not trying to make a funny game, depending on your character, or not even your characters, your gaming group,
there will always be funny situations.
They will always make jest out of sometimes even the most horrible situations.
But that's because that's what life is like, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that generally you just find humour and shit because that's how people cope.
Yeah.
And I generally think that people just share their funny stories because those are the ones that other people will actually find entertaining to listen to. And it's like, one of the ones we always share about our GURPS campaign was the most disappointing moment in our entire campaign, and we've spoken about it enough, but basically we built up this enough money to buy upgrades to a ship. Amazing. And it took us about 4 to 6 months of like actual campaign, and then it got taken away from us in one moment. And it was like, there's no humour in that, and it was one of the greatest moments in our RPG history because it was that sheer disappointment, and you couldn't.
We couldn't believe it. We were like, so this is actually happening. He was like, the ship detonates, and we was like.
Yeah, I mean, and then there was some very, very dramatic character deaths, like genuinely sad ones that happened in Pathfinder that really, really were impactful. But we don't.
Sean's character getting shot just so
one of the bosses killing Gungar, who was like a character that we really loved. The only difference is that you just when you share that with somebody. It's just not that good a story to tell somebody when you go, oh, there was this character death. It was so sad.
And they won't get it.
We absolutely loved him. And they'll just go, yeah, and?
I don't get it. But then if they were at the table and met Gungar, different story.
When we were sitting there and we were all taking part in it, we were all sad and it was really dramatic.
Yeah.
But the difference is that when you tell somebody about it, it's just like they don't have a connection to it, so who gives a fuck?
It's one of them things when you did really have to be there. You know what I mean?
It's like going up to somebody and saying, "Oh, this character died in a movie. It was so sad," and then they just go, "Okay, cool. I might watch the movie."
Yeah.
But you can't go, "Yeah, okay, I'll go back."
What happened? No, they did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
But whereas you can relay a funny story about an RPG and it might still be funny. Although
exactly.
more often than not, you might just bore someone.
But to be honest with you, even that's quite tricky because trying to relay an RPG story as it's coming out, out loud when you're relaying it to someone that wasn't there, you're like, oh, it doesn't sound as funny when I'm saying
Unless it's another RPG player, then sometimes it can. I mean, because we had shitloads of these ones. They were hilarious.
Yeah, exactly.
But often, if you're telling a non-RPG player, they'll look at you like,
I don't get it.
You're like, so what do you mean roll dice then? But yeah.
You do what?
But I think that's basically it. I don't think I value, or most people value comedy over everything else. It's just that is kind of, it's just what the ones we tend to share.
And we've played games that have been pretty dark. Yeah. And the majority of the game has been pretty dark and strong role playing and arguments and social conflicts and all this kind of stuff, but there's always dark humour, undertones of some kind of dark humour.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of the games I play with some of the people I've met online as well, I tend to play like wacky characters or comedy characters and things like this, because those are the characters that I like to play, and not only that, but it's sort of also what I'm a little bit known for as well. And I think if people invite me to their games and if they're expecting that or want that, then that's cool, and I like to play that. So I'm up for that.
Absolutely.
But so very, very good question, very thought provoking. I like that. Cheers.
Awesome. Thank you, Zovia. Keep making them amazing maps.
Yes, please do. So my brother, Sean Hunt, comes in with a final question. He says, also, favourite video game RPGs. Now, what he meant by this, I asked him to clarify. He just means as in video games that are RPGs. So for example, it could be Skyrim, could be things like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to kick this off. My all-time favourite, I've got two, right? Mm-hmm. So that is literally going to be Mother 3. So that is the sequel to Earthbound. That is hands down, it's my favourite game of all time, 100%. It is a very, very touching game that has some anti-capitalist messages in it. Well, it's pretty much the whole game's an anti-capitalist message, and it has a very good story about brotherly love. And considering that, like, my closest family member is my brother, I think that game resonates with me with it a lot. And considering that I'm a very anti-capitalist person who loves buying stuff at the same time, so I'm like a fucking hypocrite. I really, really, really enjoyed that game. Yeah. And it was never officially translated into English, but a team of people, I think it's a team or a guy called Tomato, did a translation of it that is amazing and far beyond anything that Nintendo ever would have done, because it has references in there and amazing translations that Nintendo wouldn't have done because they probably wouldn't have got away with.
Got ya.
For example, there's a pun on a guy's name where his name is Fassad, Fassad, and he's an Arabic character.
Right.
So it might be seen as a little bit racist, but it also is a pun on facade as in the French word.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Nintendo wouldn't have done that. They would have just given him like another name that definitely couldn't have come across as racist.
Bob.
But, whereas I think it's quite a clever name.
That's good.
So it's like little things like that. So Mother 3 is the first answer.
Nice.
Second answer I want to give is Final Fantasy 6, because I have a Final Fantasy 6 tattoo, and it's funny how accustomed you get to something once it's permanently inked on your body.
Yeah, I was going to say a Final Fantasy game actually. I can't remember. What was the one with the gun swords?
That would be Final Fantasy 8.
I played the shit out of that. I absolutely loved it.
That was a corker, man.
I played that. So I'd probably say Final Fantasy 8, or for me it's got to be Fallout 3, man.
Yeah, Fallout 3, man. I've put so many hours into that.
Fallout 3,
ridiculous.
Absolutely loved that game. Brotherhood of Steel. I've never when that guy come walking over in that huge armoured suit for the first time, you're just like, what the hell? It's just so cool. And I just love the Fallout world. I think it's so cleverly written. The little nods or the little things you don't see that aren't part of the main game that you just
like
notice.
The environmental storytelling.
Exactly.
I think that was the one where they nailed it the hardest. I mean, the fact of the matter is 1 and 2 were good, and it had that really, really cool interplay engine. But when Bethesda bought it and they put their edge on it before they became as sort of watered down and as commercialized as they did when they started Skyrim, and just after Oblivion was when they made Fallout 3. That was when I think they were at their peak of their creativity, and that was when they injected their goodness into what Interplay had already done with Fallout, and that was, I think, the perfect mix. Just then was
So
when
good.
they got it absolutely spot on, and they haven't done anything as good since. Like not New Vegas, not Fallout 4. As good as those
They're
games
enjoyable, but they're nothing compared to Fallout 3. They don't come close, do they?
And yeah, exactly. And Fallout 1 and 2 were good as well, but they just I think that was where they nailed it so well. And it's such a shame because that
was their opus. Was it opus?
Magnum opus.
Magnus, yeah.
Because they just haven't. It's such a shame because I just wanted it to be more Fallout 3 and I've rinsed it so hard. I would just want more Fallout 3.
Give us more Fallout 3.
But it will never happen.
No.
It will never happen. It will just continue to change.
It's because they feel like they have to develop games. And it's just like, if it's good, just keep making good stuff.
But Fallout 3 was a true role-playing game.
Yeah.
And Fallout 4 wasn't.
Like the answers that you can give, half of them mean nothing and they don't progress the game. Whereas in Fallout 3, one option of decision that you give back to one of the characters, and that's it, and they met something. All of them actually had something to it. Whereas now it's just like, I don't know.
And you remember in Fallout 3 when you could, depending on how you built your character, it gave you different dialogue options.
Yeah.
And in Fallout 4, that's just gone. That's absent. It would just you would just have like. I
just love running around in Fallout 3 eating people.
Yeah, and like the amount of different ways you could play that game.
Yeah.
And I remember as well, like just having these fucking like cool. Just dialogue options in Fallout 4 when you just had the like all four things would lead to the same place.
Same thing, yeah,
when you meet Kellogg and you'd be like, "Fuck you, Kellogg," and he'd be like, "Well, fuck you too," and then you'd be like, "Kellogg, you know what? I think you're a great guy," and he'd be like, "Well, thank you, but fuck you too," and then you'd be like, "Kellogg, you're gonna die," and he'd be like, "No, you're gonna die, fuck you too," and it'd be like everything just leads to the same place. It's like this scripted story that they just somehow managed to make you think is like open world. It's like you've got all this stuff to do, but it's all the
set
same.
on rails.
Yeah,
you can't just with Fallout 3 you could go do something there, cause a problem, like a smallest thing would choose a huge thing later on and affect things way more.
And all the side quests were beautiful. Some of them in Fallout 4 were
and
okay
sad and emotional. Yeah,
and some of the ones in Fallout 4 were good, but they were nothing in comparison to like the Oasis quest in Fallout 3 or even just the fucking Wasteland Survival Guide. That was just basically a tutorial showing you the world, and that had so much more character than any of the other ones. But I will say in Fallout 4, Silver Shroud, that was top notch.
Oh
that
man,
was such a good quest.
I loved getting the armor, and
actually
coat and hat you get with it.
The dialogue options as well, when you're like, your time is up, evildoer. I am the Silver Shroud. It's so good. Cool. That was the only thing worth playing Fallout 4 for.
That was almost that was a Fallout 3 quest in Fallout 4.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. so that's our video game chat.
Thanks, Sean.
Cheers, man. But yeah, those of you that have played Final Fantasy 7 and think, I don't want to go back to Final Fantasy 6 because of the graphics, well, just fucking play it. It's well good.
Yeah,
I've got it tattooed on my body.
That's how much I like it.
Yeah. So,
awesome.
Right. Thanks everyone for your letters. Those were really, really cool. We like them very much.
You're the men and women's.
You're the best people.
You're the best ones.
And we love you very much.
Yeah, we do.
You're like our little sons and daughters, and we just want to say, don't
do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Don't talk to strangers.
Don't do drugs unless they're good ones.
Yeah. Don't talk to strangers unless they're take you to a
drugs.
party.
Yeah.
Are strangers to someone you haven't met yet?
Who might have drugs. So talk to them.
And be going to a party. Yeah, exactly.
Talk to them because they might have good quality drugs.
Paracetamol, ibuprofen.
All of them.
Amoxicillin. Yeah, mate.
Are those good?
And they're antibiotics.
Well, they're good then. If you want to get rid of those pesky biotics, get some of those.
Get some antibiotics. Yeah. Steve.
So that was another show, and I just want to say well done, Nick. Well done to everyone that sent the letters in. That was really, really fun. That was a really fun show, man. I really enjoyed that. So I just want to ask everyone who's listening, could you please do us a big favour and share the show? The reason I'm asking, I don't usually ask this, and if you don't want it, don't do it. I don't give a shit. Whatever. But the point is that I'd really, really appreciate it if you did, because we would like to hopefully expand this to new audiences and get more people listening to this, because Nick and I do put like a lot of effort into this and really, really enjoy it, and we
love doing it. Yeah,
exactly. We'd love to keep doing it and stuff like this, and it would be really, really nice.
And we love the wonderful people we've met through doing this. Exactly.
So it'd be really cool if more people would listen to it, and if you can, just share it with a friend, right? And share it with a friend and then put like a weird message, because I recently shared Gary's fucking new podcast called Savage Rifters, right?
Yeah.
And I shared it on the Savage World's official Facebook group. But I put like a really strange message saying like I've forgotten my medication. Here is that message.
This is the best Rifts podcast since Sliced Podcasts. So good, in fact, your head will fall off. I don't know what a world is, or what savage means. Where my medication is even, but nonetheless. Give this a watch, but with your ears, because hello. This is a good podcast about rifts with the legendary Victor Diaz and Gary Hoagie McCallum, who both know their stuff, and who both should do a better job at finding my medication. Where am I again? Also, it's extremely well produced, so listen to it, or I know Bruce Willis and he's a very unkind man. That's all I'm saying.
Like, I think, share the show, our show, with your friends, right?
With a crackpot status.
With a crackpot status, saying something like this, like, I don't know, it's the best show since...
Banana Wumbles
or something like this.
Yep.
And then send us a screenshot of how bizarre
That'd
the
be
message
brilliant.
you've sent.
Yeah.
Send it to your mum and tell her to listen to it, or something like this. I don't know, like anything. But my point is share
Sell it on the streets.
We'd really, really like to get it out to a wider audience. That'd be lovely. Before we go, we just want to leave you with a thought, something to keep you basically, occupied till
Keep
the
the
next...
cogs turning.
Exactly, in the old brain box, because otherwise they're going to get all gummed up with gunk, can't they? And we don't want that.
Don't want brain gunk.
Brain gunk going on down there, because otherwise what's going to happen? It's going to die, innit? So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a thought for the week to keep you entertained until the next podcast comes out. And this will keep you going. And the thought for the week is going to be, who actually did let the dogs out? It's been 17 years. Come on, Baha men. Answer us. Who let him out? Who?
Was it you?
Who? Who did it?
I don't know. Some reckless individual.
So get investigating, people. But with that leaves one last thing to be said. One thing that connects us all and binds us. Those cogs actually, right, we all share them. And actually when they turn, we're all turning together. And we are actually one person. And if we all think and we all power our brains at one time, we can focus a laser beam that we can use to kill the Queen and take back this planet. And it can be ours. And that one phrase that we can all think to connect and to form that beam is thusly.
Chicken McBosh.
Yes. Okay, let me try it one more time. That's terrible. You're a bad one. Okay, fuck you, I'm leaving. Oh, fuck's sake.
Oh dear, look at the face on this one on your night. Oh
Going
dear.
badly, is it?
What's the matter,
Going
Harrison?
badly, like you wouldn't believe, man. Every time I keep playing the goddamn guitar, right? I'm trying to learn the guitar, and Rachel keeps on just saying, "Play well, do better. You're a bad one." Ugh, this is awful. I'm not. There's no way I'm ever going to beat this rock god atop the mountain and get back to my home world. If she's a terrible teacher. She's amazing at guitar, but Jesus Christ, she can't play. She can't teach to save her life.
But where are you playing from?
But what do you mean, Nige?
Well, where are you playing from?
From the hands. I'm using the hands. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? You're talking shit.
That's where you're going wrong.
You're an idiot.
Well, I know
You mean I'm going to play with my dick? What are you talking about?
Well, that would be quite impressive, but no, you must play.
No, but there was a guy that did that once. Don't you remember?
Oh, God, yes!
His name was,
Clever Dick.
that was him.
Yes, I do remember him. He got hung, didn't he, in the end?
Yeah, for lewd conduct.
Yes, but
Poor guy.
he was good, though, yeah.
I wouldn't call what he was doing lewd, it was sick.
I thought it was sick, too, yes. Anyway, Harrison,
Hey,
listen.
wait a minute. What's that sound? That music. See, that sounds pretty simple, but that's pretty decent. What is that? Let's go have a look.
Okay.
That's Rachel. She's playing this, but I thought she only did like sick death metal and solos and shit. Well, why didn't you teach me something like this? This I could play.
This is heartfelt music. This is not her playing with her hands, this is her playing with her soul. You see this kind of music?
Oh, whoa. Hi, Corpse Mangler.
Sorry, I tend to sneak up on people. You definitely made me jump.
This kind of music is the sort of music that in a couple of weeks a beginner could learn, but you can impress a rock god if you play from your soul and with real feeling. This is the kind of music that you could potentially impress somebody with. Do you understand? You see, you hurt Rachel's feelings, and now she plays sad music.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
It's okay, but be nicer to her. It's not her fault she got kicked in the head by a Bonacon.
Oh, I see.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. It's just that she's so annoying.
I know.
But she is quite adorable also.
No, she's just bloody annoying.
Oh.
But, you know, you've got to be nice to people or something. I'm sure there's a message in there. Anyway, I'm going to do some cocaine. Bye!
See ya, Corpsey!
So, I gotta play from the heart, I guess.
Exactly.
Play something like this to impress the rock god.
What do you think, Onion Knight?
I think that you should play the drums, I should play the bass, and we should start a band and go up to that mountain to impress the rock god.
Now you're talking. I can shred the drums. Well, no, not quite.
You don't shred the drums. You wait, what do you do to the drums?
I can beat the drums.
Smack them.
So good.
Smack them. You
Check
smack
this
them.
out. Well, no, I don't actually have any drums with me, but I will show you. But one thing.
So we need but like if we're gonna go up there and we're gonna press this rock god, we need a band name. Right?
Exactly. What are we gonna call ourselves?
The Flaming Harrisons.
Onion Knight.
I think the Onion Dudes.
Well, if we're gonna go like that, we might as well call it Nigel and the Nancys. But no, what I think is, what about the Bonacon Slayers?
What about the Special Men? The Special Men.
Special Men?
The dude.
Well, Onion Knight's not a man; he's an onion.
What about the Dude Boys?
Dude.
What about the swords, the big swords?
The people guys.
Sounds a bit like Clever Dick, the big swords.
The gigantic men.
No, it's not right. What about House? What about In Smash?